So Lincoln and Cardiff are up. Then in the playoffs, Bolton 74 from 44, Bradford 72 from 43, Stockport 71 from 42, Stevenage 68 from 43. But then there's still a bum fight below them. Plymouth 66, Luton 65. They've both played 43. And Huddersfield have 64 from 44. Reading could match Stevenage's points as well. They have 62 from 44. So theoretically, they are still in the race. Northampton and Rotherham are already down. Port Vale have 38 from 41. Exeter have 48 from 44. AFC Wimbledon 50 from 44. Leyton Orient, Burton and Peterborough all have 51 and are not safe yet. In League 2, earlier, Barrow 1, Walsall 3 and Swindon 2, Accrington 2. And then at 3 o'clock, Cheltenham 1, Newport 0, Crawley 0, Shrewsbury 0, Crewe 1, MK Dons 3, Fleetwood 1, Chesterfield 1, Gillingham 1, Grimsby 4, Harrogate 1, Colchester 0, Notts County 1, Barnet 2, Oldham 1, Salford 2 and Tranmere 1, Bristol Rovers 2. Bromley promoted this afternoon because Notts County lost. They have 84, MK Dons have 82. Cambridge have played a game fewer than everybody else. They have 78. Salford 77, Notts County 76, Swindon 75 and Chesterfield 73. They're the playoff spot, but Grimsby still have a chance. They have 71 and they've got a game in hand on all those sides above them. Barnet just about in it as well. They have 70. At the bottom, Harrogate and Barrow have 36. Newport and Tranmere have 37 and Crawley have 38. Harrogate gave themselves a great chance of survival with a late winner at home to Colchester. Tom Gale.
Clear blue skies above, Mark. A largely ugly game, but a perfect Harrogate ending. Boss Simon Weaver rolled the dice, made 7 changes. A number of those who started the defeat at Newport didn't make today's squad. And with those above dropping points elsewhere, in the 99th minute, fullback Jacob Slater scrambled home his first ever goal in professional football to secure a massive 3 points. On another day, Colchester could have been comfortable winners, but they're not scrapping for their EFL lives.
Let me give you the National League results. Halifax 2, Southend 6, Brackley 2, Aldershot 1, Eastleigh 1, Tamworth 1, Gateshead 0, Woking 3, Hartlepool 2, Forest Green Rovers 1, Morecambe 0, Boreham Wood 3, Solihull Moors 0, Boston 3, Sutton 1, Altrincham 2, Truro 0, Carlisle 1, Wealdstone 1, Scunthorpe 1. The playoff spots are all sorted. And that is Carlisle and Boreham Wood and Scunthorpe and Southend and Forest Green Rovers. The relegation spots are all sorted. Brackley, Morecambe, Braintree and Truro are all going down. What isn't sorted, the automatic promotion spot. York have 104, Rochdale have 102. At 5:30, Rochdale are at Braintree. York are at home to Yeovil. And the added twist here is that next weekend, York go to Rochdale. Ross Heaton is watching them at the LNER Community Stadium.
Yes, and in the city that has been described as the most haunted in Europe, York have the opportunity to lay a few promotion ghosts to rest following last season's playoff heartbreak. As you said, the Minstermen top the table by 2 points ahead of that final day showdown at Scotland next week. Due to a huge advantage in goal difference, even a draw here and defeat for Dale would effectively, but not mathematically, end a 10-year exile from the EFL. A party isn't guaranteed tonight, but the champagne is on ice.
Great story in the Scottish Cup earlier as Championship side Dunfermline beat Falkirk on penalties. They last won the Scottish Cup in 1968. Neil Lennon was very emotional afterwards.
It's amazing. I thought we were great today. I thought the game was attritional. There was a lot of nerves out there. But we had the better chances, you know, and it's a hell of an achievement for the club. I mean, we're beating Hibs, Aberdeen, Falkirk. You know, these players they've covered themselves in glory all the way through this. And now we got one to go. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because the one thing about this lot is they can fall off a cliff very quickly because they're young, they're inconsistent, but they're talented. And when they put it together, they're a match for anybody. You know, we'll look forward to the semi-final tomorrow and see what that brings. It's so exciting. And you know, at this stage of the season, just every game's a huge game and you don't have to do much for them now. You know, rest, recover, play. And what this will do for them and what it'll do for the city, I'm lost for words, mate.
They will play the winners of Celtic St Mirren. That semi-final is tomorrow. In the Scottish Championship, Airdrieonians 2, Partick Thistle 2, Arbroath 2, Wraith 1, Morton 0, Queen's Park 0, Ross County 2, Ayr 1. Ross County just a point adrift at the bottom after they won that game. St Johnstone have a 4-point lead over Partick and a game in hand after Partick could only draw. In the League One, Alloa 2, East Fife 0, Cove Rangers 2, Stenhouse Muir 0, Inverness 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 0, Hamilton 2, and Peterhead 1, Queen of the South 1. Inverness have a 4-point lead over Stenhouse Muir at the top. And in League 2, Annan 0, Spartans 2, Clyde 2, Dumbarton 0, East Kilbride 4, already relegated or into the relegation playoff, Edinburgh City 0, Stirling 2, Elgin 2, Stranraer 0, Forfar 1. East Kilbride have a 1-point lead over Spartans at the top of the table there. Right, let's go to the World Snooker. Opening day, Jamie Broughton's at the Crucible.
And we're watching the Welsh snooker legend Mark Williams begin his campaign to win a 4th world title. He's taking on Poland's Anthony Kowalski. Williams leads by 4 frames to 3, but Kowalski has played well so far on his debut. Meanwhile, on the other table, Zhou Yulong and Zhao Guodong are tied at 3 frames all. 10 is the target for victory.
The Northern Ireland's Premiership, Ballymena 1, Portadown 2, Bangor 0, Carrick Rangers 3, Glenavon 0, Crusaders 1, Cliftonville 1, Dungannon 0, Linfield 0, Coleraine 3. England thrashed Scotland in the Women's Six Nations 84-7. Here's the England captain, Meg Jones.
I think we were relentless today. We want to keep building every performance we have. The game gives us tremendous feedback and we can just keep getting better and better. I was really proud of how the girls adapted today. I think you saw the line-out lifters bringing on their lifters. So we were adapting on the go. Super proud of the girls. We were relentless.
You have been involved for so long, but what was it like out in the atmosphere at Murrayfield today?
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful stadium. Thank you so much for having us. It was an amazing spectacle. Fans were outstanding, you always are. Travelling, whether you're far or close, thank you so much.
In terms of England, a number of players playing out of position, but that didn't seem to bother the squad at all.
Yeah, bottom line is we're good rugby players. We got really good adaptability. We train all types of scenarios, but bottom line is fundamental is you want to run forward and score tries. So as long as you've got that in the back of your mind, be 100 committed with your action and you'll get the rewards.
You must be excited to get back home next weekend.
Yeah, super excited. We've actually got the under-21s over there, so we're going to connect, reconvene, and hopefully inspire the next generation as well.
So that was Meg Jones. The final whistle about to go in the second game with France leading Wales by 38 points to 7. In the Gallagher Prem, Leicester 62, Newcastle 3. Chris Jones watched a cracker at Exeter.
Yeah, Exeter 28, Northampton 35 on a beautiful Devon day. 2 teams in good form. This always had the makings of a Prem Rugby Classic, and so it proved. And after playing out a 33-all draw on the first day of the season, Exeter and Northampton were back at it today. The Chiefs threw out the blocks, 14-0 up, but Saints clawed their way back into the game. They went into half-time level after Ollie Slightholme scored on the buzzer. The Chiefs dominated the third quarter. They went ahead, but Saints then hit back twice. Henry Pollock putting them 7 clear in the final 10 before Paul Brown Bampo's charge down and Henry Slade's touchline conversion looked like it had secured Exeter a draw. But this Northampton team, they always back themselves. Fraser Dingwall with the break, Finn Smith under the post with the final play of the game, and a huge win for Northampton as they bid to get that Premiership title back.
Connacht and Lions were winners in the United Rugby Championship. Cap Vert was the surprise winner of the Scottish National at Ayr this afternoon. Here's John Hunt.
Well, unexpectedly heavy ground reduced the Scottish Grand National field at Ayr today by 5 runners to just 16. We still had a surprise result, though, 20-1 success. Cap Vert for training partnership Philip Hobbs and Johnson White provided rider Sean Houlihan with the biggest success of his career and his 21st winner of the season. Fabulous day for him. He spoke to Darren Owen about his success straight after the race.
He got into a lovely rhythm, he travelled, he jumped, bar a slight scare 4 out when Sam Twiston-Davis jumped across me. It was all from there on home, it was just keep your cool, count to 10. And I saw the furlong pole and I thought, right, you can give me all for a furlong, and he did. He's very genuine, and I think these marathon trips might bring out more improvement in him.
Meanwhile, here at Newbury, the Classic Trials posed more questions than answers. The Greenham Stakes firstly, and Carl Burke's Alpeslan ran out a very impressive winner here, making most of the running. Carl undecided about Newmarket for him, though, in the 2,000 guineas in 2 weeks' time. He's just got it in his mind that the horse didn't run particularly well in the Dewhurst last year. The runner-up was Zavateri, and third place went to Albert Einstein, whilst Sukanya won the Fred Darling Stakes. That's the 1,000 guineas trial. But again, Jack Channon unsure whether or not he'll go to Newmarket. There are options for her in Ireland at the Curragh, or the French guineas, indeed, may be preferable.
John Hunt there in Super League. Wakefield beat Bradford 52-12. Catalan against Warrington gets underway at 6 o'clock. That's everything. Ailey Barber.
Thank you very much, Mark, and welcome to a beautiful, sunny, late afternoon, early evening here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Blue skies above, the stand opposite me bathed in sunshine. All these Tottenham Hotspur fans hoping that the sun is not setting on their Premier League season. Andy Reid alongside me. It has been a wonderful atmosphere in the build-up to kick-off. The flags have been waving, the Spurs fans have been singing. They are doing their part in what is a pretty dire situation.
Yeah, absolutely. They have. The atmosphere has been really good. They've certainly come to support the team. There's no doubt about that. And I just think it's down to the players now. The players have to go out on that pitch and perform, and they haven't done it enough so far this season, which is why they find themselves in the predicament they're in.
Well, it is Roberto De Zerbi's first home game in charge of Tottenham. He lost his first match away to Sunderland a week ago. So let me run you through the team. He's made 4 changes from that team that started at Sunderland. Romero picking up that injury that will keep him out for the season. He is out, as is Gray, Bergvall and Richarlison. Coming in, Danso, Basuma, Bentancur and Simon. So Anton Kinski continues in goal. Still no Vicario fit and able to start. A back 4 of Destiny Udogie, Mickey van de Ven, who wears the captain's armband tonight, Kevin Danso and Pedro Porro. Rodrigo Bentancur, Yves Basuma and Conor Gallagher, a midfield 3. Xavi Simons on the left, Randall Kolomuani on the right, Dominic Solanke up front as Solanke just tries to put pressure on Bart Verbruggen in the Brighton goal, but he does very well to get the ball away, and Brighton keep possession, and they now move to come over the halfway line, and that will be the first free kick of the match. It will go the way of Spurs right on the halfway line. And in terms of the Brighton starting 11, it is as it was against Burnley a week ago. Verbruggen in goal, back 4 of Kadioglu, Buscagli still in for the suspended Lewis Dunk, Jan-Paul van Hecke and Matt Wiefer, Ayari and Gross in midfield, with Hinchelwood playing in that number 10 position. Minte continues on the left, preferred to Matoma, Gomez on the right, and Danny Welbeck leading the line. And the one bit of team news I should tell you actually is that there is a return to the bench for James Maddison. Almost a year since he last made a Premier League appearance. A lovely ball sweeping from right to left, looking for the run off Udogie, but Verbruggen out quickly, and Spurs have started well, Andy. Yeah, they've started okay. They've kept the ball. Got a few passes in, which is always good, you know, when the atmosphere is good. Can you keep that composure, put them nerves to one side? So they've made a decent enough start. The game hasn't really settled down yet. You would expect it to settle into, I suppose, a rhythm of Brighton controlling the play, dominating, building from the back like we've seen probably in the first 30 seconds. I think it's a tough matchup for Tottenham this afternoon, because it could be difficult for them to really get after this Brighton team. Brighton just winning a free kick right on the halfway line, over on the far touchline. Minte going down under pressure from Danso. Looked like he caught him in the face, but nothing untoward, just a free kick awarded. Brighton wearing their all yellow shirts, yellow shorts, yellow socks. They're playing from our left to right here at the stadium, and Tottenham in their traditional home shirts, blue shorts and white socks, winning the free kick. They didn't win the free kick, the whistle didn't go, and he's picked the ball up. What is the referee saying here? Took it too quickly, perhaps? I think he's saying that Bentancur took it too quickly. Solanke had made a run and Bentancur put his hand on the ball and went to play quickly, but the referee hadn't blown his whistle. Play wasn't ready to restart yet. So it is two teams of very contrasting forms meeting here today. Tottenham's, there is very little positivity to take out of their form. Their last Premier League win way back in December. the only team yet to pick up a victory in 2026. Brighton, meanwhile, have 5 Premier League wins in their last 6 as Van Hecke goes down under the challenge. Nothing given, the ball's broken forward to Simons, but Verbruggen out very quickly, and Van Hecke's now looking at the referee, raising his arm, saying, why wasn't that given?
Yeah, well, Solanke has been really strong and powerful there. I don't think he's done too much wrong. I think Van Hecke, as a centre-back, needs to stand up to that challenge. In the initial stages, just after it happened, it looked like it was a foul, but when you see the replays, a bit of it coming together, but not too sure. I think the centre-back needs to be stronger in that situation.
Good run forward from Basuma, gets it back and now is able to release Udogie down the left-hand side. You can hear the roar from the supporters every time Tottenham get on the front foot. That is well cleared from inside the 6-yard box by Brighton, and now Gomez can try and launch it up towards Danny Welbeck, which he does, but Danso's able to head it back forward to Solanke. Was he coming from an offside position? Flag doesn't go up, so Tottenham keep possession in the centre circle. A frantic start to this game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A vital game for Spurs in their aim for survival, and for Brighton it's just as important in terms of their ambitions of European football.
Yeah, it is, but I think the real story is Tottenham today. It's a huge game. If you're to look forward to what's to come over the next couple of days, Forest have Burnley at home, tough enough game for them, but a game that's definitely winnable. And then West Ham go to Palace, and I fancy West Ham to get a win there on Monday night. So it's vitally important that Tottenham get some points on the board here this evening.
And as a little side note to this game, should Tottenham get all 3 points after Wolves' loss today, that would relegate Wolves back down to the Championship today. It seems like it will happen. It's fairly inevitable that it will happen, but it could happen this afternoon if Spurs win. They actually play each other as well next weekend, so that could be very spicy depending on what happens here. But for Tottenham, it is all about them. It is all about their survival. It's all about trying to find a way to win a game of football, and for Roberto De Zerbi, trying to get these remaining 6 games off to a flying start.
Yeah, Tottenham have made a decent start here. They've got a decent bit of possession. Seen that cross from Udogie there about a minute ago, getting them high up the pitch. They're passing the ball okay. Brighton haven't settled into a rhythm yet, and the crowd are still with them. I think it's important that Tottenham keep a good tempo to this game, that they're able to play through the lines, that they're able to commit men forward, because they need to keep this crowd on board. Brighton will want to slow the game down. They're a good possession team. They keep the ball well, not massively high intensity from them. So Tottenham need to keep the intensity high, keep the crowd on board, and see if they can break down this Brighton defence.
Simons just picking the ball up inside Tottenham's half and winning a free kick at the same time. And we talk so often about the opening goal and the importance of it, but for Tottenham, they haven't won a single game this season in the league when they have gone behind. So for them, there is potentially an added importance on that first goal, and we saw it here at the stadium against Nottingham Forest. Such a good atmosphere before the game, and when Forest took the lead, it just deflated the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, they actually didn't play bad in the middle part of the first half, and as soon as that goal goes in, I think the crowd then start to get a bit edgy, and they start to get on the team's back, and the team obviously feel it as well.
Crossfield ball looking for Udogie, finds its target. He manages to knock it into the path of Simons. He goes down looking for a free kick, and then Udogie's taken down as well. So the free kick will be awarded to Tottenham. Midway between the halfway line and the edge of Brighton's penalty area, wide on the left-hand side, and tempers are beginning to fray a little bit down there. Simons and Van Hecke having a discussion, and Van de Ven, wearing the Tottenham armband today, called over by the referee. So a little bit of sorting out for Stuart Atwell to do early on here, and that just shows the intensity of this game, the importance on it.
Yeah, it does. There's, tensions are high in the stadium. There's no doubt about that. There's something riding on it for both teams, and it was actually a really good play from Tottenham. A good switch of play, and Udogie and Simons between them. There's a good combination, and they were getting into a decent situation, so you can see why the Tottenham fans and De Zerbi and those players are a bit upset that was brought to such an abrupt halt.
Well, it was the first challenge on Simons that was penalised. Matt Pfeiffer going in a little bit heavily. He gets us talking to from Stuart Atwell, but nothing more. That's what the boo from the Tottenham fans was. They thought that perhaps that deserved the first yellow card off the game, but 9 minutes into this crucial game for Tottenham Hotspur, still goalless. Porro with the free kick, which he plays down the left hand side, looking for a doggy. He's got the wrong side of Welbeck, goes down. The referee says no penalty. That will be interesting to have a look back at as Spurs keep a hold of the ball. Porro with the cross in, headed clear, and it lands the feet of Bentancur, but he can't make contact. Brighton struggling to get it clear. Kolomuani trying to flick it over Brighton defence. He now is stopped in his tracks. There's a Brighton body down in the box. Udogu is also still down in the penalty area, and the play is stopped, and that was a frantic few moments. But Udogu got the wrong side of Minte, wanted the penalty. We're getting a look back at it now, Andy Reid, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of contact.
No, I think he was looking for it. He did get wrong side. Minte got wrong side, and he let Dougie come inside him. It was a well-worked free kick. I suppose it was one off the training ground, but I just don't think there's enough contact there for it to warrant a penalty. But it will be looked at, and you know, we've seen them given for some strange ones, but Dougie leaves his left leg trailing behind, hoping that Minte is going to take the bait and put a little bit of contact in there, and I don't think he gives enough.
It's Pascaglia who's down in the area for Brighton. He's back up on his feet now, but he did win the free kick. Kolomuani just catching him as he tried to get that ball under control in the area. So Pascaglia will take this free kick in the place of Lewis Dunk. He had a very good game at Burnley last weekend alongside Jan-Paul van Hecke. Just 5'11", quite small for a centre back, but certainly was very effective on the ball again now as it ricochets to him, and he moves it inside, finds Ayari, who's challenged illegally, and Brighton will get the free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, I like the tempo to the game. I think it started quite well, and I think if you were a Tottenham fan, or if you're Roberto De Zerbi, you would be quite pleased with the start that you've made. They've kept that tempo high, they've pressed Brighton, they've tried to get after that ball, and it's a difficult thing to do because Brighton are really structured. They want to build through that middle part of the pitch, and De Zerbi will be pleased with this start.
Tottenham pressing high, but Brighton trying to break that press. It comes all the way back though to Verbruggen. Earlier on in the Premier League this afternoon, it finished goalless between Brentford and Fulham in the early kick-off. A huge win for Leeds, 3-0 over Wolves, which all but seals their fate in terms of their Premier League status. They will be relegated today if Tottenham can win here this afternoon. Newcastle fell to defeat at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth winning that one by 2-1, and it is still goalless here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Kevin Danso moves the ball forward, but it's cut out by Ayari. Brighton trying to just move the ball down the left to Minte. That one is cut out. It's a little bit scrambly this game as again a loose ball picked up in the centre of the area by Gomez. Looks for the run of Minte, but it's too far ahead of him, and it will just be launched clear. Anywhere will do for Pedro Porro.
Yeah, the Tottenham press is interesting because they are trying to get after the ball, and Porro is jumping really high up the pitch to try and get close to Kadioglu, and when he does that, Danso comes across to the right back position, and you've got three defenders trying to cover the whole width of the pitch. So if they do get through that press, Brighton, there could be a good bit of space getting at that Tottenham back line.
Well, Brighton just trying to get a foot on the ball at the moment. It has been chaotic these first 13 minutes as Verbruggen just looks for an option, goes out to the left hand side to Pascaglia, moves it forward. Welbeck drops into that little hole to pick it up and plays it to Pascal Gross, who's got Minte down his left hand side if he wants him. He uses him now, and it's a good sliding challenge from Porro, and it will be a Tottenham throw and level with the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, the fans love a tackle, don't they? It's great. It's going out of the game. We're not seeing it nowhere near enough, and that was a good old-fashioned challenge.
Talking of challenges, just seeing a shot on our screens here of Christian Romero up in the stands watching on. His season is sadly for him over. He'll be hoping that he can be fit for the summer, but it looks unlikely as Tottenham move clear with Mickey van de Ven, who's got a doggy down this left hand side over the halfway line. Looking for the ball into the middle to Solanke. It's deflected, but it may well fall to Kolomoani. He just couldn't quite get it under control. He will not be able to keep it in, and it will be a Tottenham corner. And it's interesting you're talking about the challenges, because it was something that was very much lacking last week for Tottenham in that defeat to Sunderland. The number of times they were able to put in a challenge and win the ball.
Yeah, you need to be good at duelling. You need to have that character about you. Especially when you're in a relegation battle. You know, it's all very well having that quality on the ball, but having that desire to go and win a challenge.
First opportunity from a corner then. Xavi Simons over on that far side, and you can hear the crowd inside the stadium urging their team on. Simons raises his left arm. There's very little movement inside the area. Now there's a few white shirts moving around. It goes all the way to the back post. Bentancur heads it in, but there is a free kick for Brighton. Wiefer going down under the challenge with Kolomoani, and that's just a waste for Tottenham, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one off the training ground. You could see what they were trying to do. They were trying to get Kolomoani to block the ball for Solanke, or Bentancur actually peeling off towards the back post so he could get a header, and then they could play off the second phase. But Kolomoani just too aggressive with his challenge, persistent holding on for too long. The referee spotted it, and he gives a free out.
So Brighton with an opportunity to try and get some possession in this game. There's not really been any sustained possession from either side so far. Verbruggen though goes long looking for Gomez, wins the header, but that will fall to Van de Ven, who heads it, and then Bentancur flicks it on again. Now Gallagher flicks it on to Solanke, who gets a knee on it, tries to take it under control, but goes over under the challenge, and that will be a free kick to Tottenham right in the centre circle. I didn't think the referee was going to give it there, but he eventually did.
He eventually did. That's a good battle that between Solanke and Van Hecke. I think two physically imposing players. We've already seen them coming together 3 or 4 times in this game, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that, because Solanke's going to be pivotal. He's going to have to secure that ball when it comes up to give Tottenham the opportunity to get some men forward and get around the ball to try and sustain some attacks.
It so often happens when a manager turns up in the same league again as Roberto De Zerbi has. They usually get linked to somebody in the team that they used to manage, and Jan-Paul Van Hecke is one that certainly a few reports have that he would want to take to Spurs should they remain in the Premier League, as Tottenham scrap for the ball inside their own half and win it. And now Simons able to launch it over the top of Brighton's back line, looking for the run of Solanke, but it does go all the way through to Verbruggen.
The game is really scrappy, and I think when you get a bit of space on transition, when there's that scrap going on, when somebody actually comes out with the ball, there is space then to be able to play through the lines and play forward.
Poor pass from Van Hecke is cut out. Simons picks it up on this left touchline. He's got Solanke ahead of him. He moves down the touchline. He's going to have to cut back though to keep possession, and Gomez is down clutching his knee as Basuma's through ball takes a nick off a Brighton defender, and it will be another Tottenham corner. But there is concern here for Diego Gomez, who has his shirt over his face, rolling on the ground. The Paraguayan looks to be in some pain here as a couple of players go over, and the play will stop here momentarily. He certainly looks to be in pain there, Andy.
Yeah, so he's gone up for a challenge, and he's won the header brilliantly well against a doggy, and when he's landed, his knee is just buckled underneath him, and it doesn't look too good. He looks in a lot of pain, and you know, it could be one of them that the weight of his body and I suppose the force that he lands with after jumping so high puts so much pressure on them joints, and worrying times certainly. It doesn't look good.
He actually looks to be almost in tears down there. I'm just getting images of Romero a week ago when he picked up that injury against Sunderland that has ruled him out. So whilst we have this break in play, let's head over to York City, get an update from their match against Yeovil with Ross Heaton.
15 minutes gone, York 0, Yeovil 0. The table-topping hosts are bossing possession but not able to find the breakthrough. As results stand here and elsewhere, the Minster men staying top by 2 points. York 0, Yeovil 0.
It is also goalless in that match between Braintree and Rochdale. Still no sign of play starting, so let's head over to Iceland and get an update of that England World Cup qualifier with Rob Schofield.
18 minutes gone, Iceland 0, England 0. It's all England on their landmark 500th game. Iceland putting up a stiff test, but it'll be England that'll need to break them down as we go through this first half. 0-0 for now.
There is live commentary of Iceland against England over on 5 Live Sports Extra or on the BBC Sounds app if you would like to listen to that. So a couple of other Women's World Cup qualifiers tonight. Albania are taking on Wales. That one kicked off at 5 o'clock. Wales second in the table there. And Belgium against Scotland. That is a 7:30 kick-off this evening. You can watch it on the BBC iPlayer or BBC Sport online. Scotland and Belgium, they are both at the top of the group on 7 points. Wales have taken the lead against Albania. Roberts with the goal there. And it will be a change for Brighton. Diego Gomez's afternoon is over, and by the look of the distress on his face, it could well be something that is a lot longer term. We hope that is not the case as he hobbles off. So Mitoma will make his way onto the Jackson, who is on the bench, and part of that is because of the great form of Diego Gomez on the right hand side. Yeah, it's a shame for him because he has been in great form, and you just hope that it's not too serious, but the way he's hobbling about and the distress on his face, and I suppose also the angle that he landed and with the force that he landed, it doesn't look great. So Kaoru Mitoma is on the field as the corner comes in, and it is flicked away back to Siemens on the edge of the area, right for the shot, takes a deflection, just whistles past Verbruggen's post, and there were a couple of moments where I thought a foot might just come onto that ball and direct it towards the goal, but it will be another corner for Tottenham, and this is good pressure from the home side. It is, yeah. Siemens done well there. He was forced onto the ball when it popped out from the corner, shifted it to his right hand side. Good strike, and when there's that many bodies, it becomes difficult for the keeper to see. Again, it will be Porro from this near side, right footed. This one is long, too long is it? Solanke does get it in, it flicks it back in, it's headed clear by Welbeck. There's an overhead kick, and now a shot comes in over the top of the bar by Kolo Muani. But we've had a goal in the Women's World Cup qualifier between Iceland and England. Rob Schofield.
And it's Alessia Russo who's got it, slid through from midfield, and a fine finish into the bottom corner. England 1-0 up here in sun-soaked Reykjavik, and they've got the points they need to reclaim their 3-point lead at the top of the table over Spain in World Cup qualifying. Iceland 0, England 1.
England continue in their good form after that win against Spain, now leading against Iceland, as Spurs looking to keep the pressure on here, but Brighton win it back with Wiefer just inside Tottenham's half. Back over the halfway line into their own half, trying to keep possession. They go long now, they're looking for the run off Minte, who is indeed over on this right hand side now, headed clear. It will be a Brighton throw. Yeah, we're 22 minutes in now, and Brighton haven't really been able to get into any flow. We're used to seeing them being a real possession dominant side, but they haven't been able to make them numbers count. They haven't been able to create the overloads they normally do, and they've struggled to get into this game. They have, but they have won a corner. Minte's cross deflected out, so a first opportunity really for Brighton to get the ball into the mixer. There has been very, very little for Kinske to do in the Tottenham goal, but perhaps Brighton can change that with this corner kick. Minte down below us on this near side, left footed, it goes in, goes deep, far too deep, and it's left by Bentancur. It'll go all the way out, and you can hear the jeers from the Tottenham fans at what was again a real wasted set piece opportunity. Yeah, it was just way too much, and it drifts out the back. Brighton didn't have anybody going around the back, and they just need something to give them a little bit of a spark to get into it, and a poor delivery like that is not going to be the one. Long by Tottenham, won by Van Hecke, but Spurs pick it up, a mixture of Siemens and Gallagher, and it's Gallagher who comes away with it, feeds Solanke on this left hand side, coming up towards Brighton's penalty area, just checks his run forward, and now Basuma all the way back to Van de Ven on the halfway line, across to his centre back partner Danso. Tottenham just beginning to move the ball around here in front of their home fans. They have been on a wretched run of form, but under De Zerbi in his first home match as Tottenham manager, can they find a way to turn it around and to get a first victory of 2026? And you can hear these Tottenham Hotspur fans, they really are backing their team. and it's up to their team now to try and deliver.
Yeah, no, they are backing the team, and you can see why. The team are actually playing quite well. They're passing the ball well, out of possession, they're getting after it, they're playing with a good intensity and a good tempo, and then the fans are coming with them.
Lovely ball through the lines, but Solanke looking towards the linesman, and his flag now does indeed go up for offside. It was a great ball from back to front, right through the middle of the pitch, but Solanke just gone a little bit early. And I mean, Tottenham, we talk so much about De Zerbi and the way that he likes to play and the philosophy, but when you look at this Tottenham team, how much is it just about trying to build a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, all it is about trying to find a few points from somewhere. Style of play doesn't really matter at this stage of the season. It really doesn't, and you can see that there's not so much in the De Zerbi style in this team at the moment in time, or the De Zerbi style that we're used to. They've been playing forward when they have to, they've been playing through the lines and playing down the sides at times as well.
A long ball over the top looking for Siemens, really well dealt with by Buscaglia, and now Brighton have got possession in the middle of the pitch. Karo Matoma crossing the halfway line, looking to start off a Brighton attack down this left hand side up against Porro, and he will win the corner, does he? The little Japanese winger? I think he does, but let's, while we wait for that to be taken, head over to York City, because there's been a goal, Ross Heaton.
23 gone, York 1, Yeovil 0. The league leaders in front with an Ollie Pearce header, his 35th of the season. As results stand here, with Rochdale drawing, the Minster men would be promoted. York 1, Yeovil 0.
Good start for York City. Brighton do indeed have a corner in front of all these Tottenham Hotspur fans, an opportunity to do better than they did with their first attempt, which was down on the near side. This one at the far side, and it goes right on top of Kinski, gets a hand to it, which gets a round of applause from the Spurs supporters.
Yeah, that's a better delivery, right in under the crossbar. There's loads of bodies in there, and the keeper does well. You're thinking he's struggling at one point, and Van Hekke was coming in at the back post. He just would have nodded that in, and Kinski does really well to get a hand and get a good distance on the punch.
Really good hand in from Kinski, who had a good game last week. Many didn't think they'd see him in a Tottenham shirt again after his 17 minutes against Atletico Madrid, but he came back and he did well. Absolutely nothing he could have done about the winning goal, and he's done very well there. But Wiefer now with an opportunity to cross it in. There's Welbeck. There's a fantastic header by Danso to deny the one-time England striker an opportunity at goal, and now Kolomoani trying to get on the end of a loose ball, but Matoma's there to just clear things up back to Verbruggen. And now a long ball forward, Hinchelwood nearly all the way through, but really quickly off his line, Kinski. And you talk about confidence, that took a lot to play last week, and you can see how much that has done for the goalkeeper to have a good game. He's looked solid in these opening 27 minutes, but Brighton beginning to put a little bit of pressure on Spurs, and Minte wins it back into the area, tries to just come away from Van de Ven. Really important challenge from Mickey Van de Ven, and now Conor Gallagher goes down and Tottenham will win the free kick. Good little spell from Brighton.
Yeah, best spell of the game so far from Brighton. They're starting to get a few passes in, and Minte's coming inside, he's trying to twist and turn. Possibly could have got a shot off quicker, and some good aggressive defending from Tottenham there. I just always feel when you go to ground in the box, you're always risking, especially with a player like Minte who can manipulate the ball really well. But Tottenham held firm.
Long ball looking for Gallagher. He's in a foot race up against Buscaglia and trying to weave his way around, and it's taken a deflection off the Frenchman, and it will be another corner to Spurs. And you were here against Nottingham Forest, Andy. Are you seeing a different side to Tottenham, or in terms of their application here today?
What I'm seeing is more tempo from them. They're playing through the lines quicker, they're getting the ball forward, they're getting players forward, and out of possession, they're pressing. There's a lot more tempo, a lot more intensity to this Tottenham performance so far.
28 minutes gone, still goalless. Tottenham knocking on the door with this corner. Women's Six Nations action also today underway. Ireland 14, Italy 5 is a latest score. Spurs with a short corner. Porro with an opportunity to put it in right-footed. Touch from Van de Ven, but it's Wiefer who gets on the end of it. He goes down. It will be a free kick to Brighton just on the edge of the D, and that will halt Spurs' momentum at the moment. Earlier on in the Women's Six Nations, it was an emphatic victory for England against Scotland. Scotland 7, England 84. And the same for France, a big victory for them. Wales 7, France 38. You can see highlights of the Women's Six Nations on the BBC iPlayer. Just search for Women's Six Nations. You can also watch the games back in full. I'm not sure many Scottish fans will be doing that, though, with that result.
There's a good tempo to this game. There's a good feel to it. I really like it. And we mentioned Tottenham's start and played with the tempo. And what they're doing really well is they're pressing really high. And they're getting after Brighton, and Brighton are struggling to play through that press. They're struggling to kind of create them overloads that they're normally so good at, and Tottenham are having some joy when they turn the ball over. They just haven't been able to secure that next pass as of yet.
Pascal Gross just taking a little bit of a risk up against Kolomoani, gets away with it though, and Van Hekken now driving through Tottenham's midfield. Minte with the cross. Van Hecken's continued his run, but just ahead of him and able to be picked up by Porro, who then looks for Basuma, but not quite on the same wavelength. And Brighton win possession back. A tangle between Basuma and Minte down in front of us. The two players back up on their feet now, though, as Brighton keep possession. Boscagli out to Vifer on the right-hand side, up to Minte. He's got options in the penalty area, but drops it to Vifer, who scored twice against Burnley last weekend on fine form. Van Hekken into Hinchelwood, dropped to Ayari, and now the ball goes in, but it's cleared by Danso right up in the air. It is not clear from danger yet. Basuma flicks it to a doggy, and now Siemens over the top of his head, but it's going to be picked up in the centre circle by Brighton bodies, and the tide might be beginning to change a little bit in this one.
Yeah, Brighton have come into it the last couple of minutes, and that was a lovely passage of play in and around the box. They're pinning Tottenham back in at this moment in time. Good combination in and around the box. You're getting your good, talented, technical players coming into them pockets, and when the movement is late and it's timed as well as it has been, and the quality on the pass is good, it becomes very difficult to defend against.
So Brighton probing, and they know there is a fragility to this Spurs team. When you are in this situation that Tottenham are in, Andy, I don't want to drag you back to the not the happy memories of your career, but when you are, it's so difficult when something goes against you, and it feels like everything goes against you.
Yeah, it does, and that's the resilience that you need, the resilience and the character that you need, because there's no doubt they're in a tough situation, and what you have to do is stand up to the challenge. You have to show that desire. You have to show that hunger and that fight, and in all honesty, Tottenham have done so far in this first half, in the half an hour.
Well, Brighton win a corner. Vifer's cross blocked by Basuma, so it will go out for Brighton's third corner of the match, and Minte will just place the ball in the quadrant as the players settle themselves inside the 6-yard area. Referee just trying to sort out a couple of things. Now Minte left-footed, but it won't clear the man at the front post, but it only comes out as far as Kadioglu. Out to Minte. We've got the run from Gross, decided not to use him, and now he plays it into the ball. There's a back post header, and it's come off the post from Danny Welbeck. The header at the far post, right across the face of goal. Welbeck saw his shot from a matter of yards come back off the post.
Wow, that was incredible. Minte does brilliant on the right hand side, comes back on his left foot, whips it to the far post, and the header at the back post comes all the way back across. Nobody gets a touch in it. It's off the inside of the post. Welbeck steaming in late, can't get enough on it. Incredible passage of play.
Absolutely incredible. It came off the post, came right across the goal line to Welbeck. His shot then was off the inside of the post, so it went back across the line, and nobody there to knock it in for Brighton.
Well, Van de Ven defends really well, but when we look at the replay, he's kicked it off his own post, it's come back off his backside, and somehow it's not gone into the goal.
Well, we spoke about everything going against you when you're in that position. That one didn't for Spurs.
Yeah, well, they got a bit of luck there, that's for sure. But you can just feel it's gone a little bit edgy around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
For the first time, there is a little bit of a hush in these opening 33 minutes. It has been loud and vocal, but that has certainly caused a hush. And now Brighton come forward again. Ayari tripped from behind by Basuma. This will be the first yellow card of the match, and a free kick to Brighton around 25-30 yards from goal.
Well, it's a brilliant piece of play. We spoke about Brighton struggling a little bit on the build, but that was excellent there. How they played through the press, good movement, securing the ball, creating overloads, and Ayari does brilliant first touch to take him forward, and Basima has to foul him to bring him down, and that's a booking. It's not what you need as a central midfield player, after only half an hour going, it's a long way to go and you're walking that tightrope.
It is indeed, and this is another opportunity for Brighton from a set-piece situation. They're beginning to edge things in these last 5-6 minutes in this match, put the pressure on Spurs. Again, the supporters try and get behind their team as Pascal Gross flicks it in, and there's Welbeck with the header, and it's a good save from Kinski, but he was all on his own. Welbeck got on the end of the flicked ball, and Kinski down quickly.
Yeah, he should have done better. It was brilliant, well walked off the training ground, and Danny Welbeck starts his run a little bit deeper and then starts to run late. He times it to perfection. Lovely ball in. He's got a free header 7 or 8 yards out, and he can't find either corner. He can't get enough purchase on it, can't move them neck muscles enough to get enough power on that header.
So Brighton beginning to ask a few questions. Kinski goes long, nobody there. It will go all the way through to his opposite number in the Brighton goal. Is this where we start to find out a little bit about whether De Zerbi has changed the mentality of this Spurs team, when they start to have things going against them a little bit? Oh, and that's Wiefer coming forward into the area, gets a little hand on the back from Van de Ven, goes down, nothing given as Udogie tries to run clear with the ball, and it will win the free kick just outside the D. But that was again a worrying moment for Tottenham.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough in it. There's a hand on there, but I don't think there's enough contact to warrant the penalty. I mean, VAR will have a look at it, obviously, but it does feel like the game is just getting a little bit more stretched from Tottenham now, and Brighton are finding them. It's shoulder to shoulder. For me, not a penalty, not at all. But like we just said there, Brighton seem to be finding the space in between the lines now. They're finding them pockets, and the game is getting a little bit stretched now from a Tottenham perspective. And you're finding them midfield players getting a little bit more space. The centre backs are finding them with line breaking passes, and Tottenham need to regroup a little bit.
Yeah, the incredible strength of Mickey Van de Ven, because Mats Wiefer he's a bit of a unit himself, but Van de Ven just managed to bowl him over quite easily there, and the ball over the top to Minte, but Van de Ven will get there ahead of him and clear up the line to Simons, who's trying to make it over the halfway line, wins the free kick. It will be a yellow card to Mats Wiefer, and let's get an update from the Women's World Cup qualifier. Iceland against England with Rob Schofield.
Iceland 0, England 1. Alessia Russo's low strike into the bottom corner from the angle. The difference, it was Lauren Hemp who unlocked the resolute Iceland defence with a nice through ball. Serena Wigman's side dominating and moving back to 3 points clear of Spain in the group. Iceland 0, England 1, 36 minutes gone.
So 1-0 to England there. Still goalless here under the blue skies above. Tottenham desperately looking for that, and perhaps that springboard to what would be a vital 3 points. But as yet, they've struggled in that area of the pitch. Tottenham, just 40 Premier League goals this season. They've actually got the 4th lowest XG in the Premier League coming in to this weekend. So it is an area that De Zerbi will certainly look to try and improve if they're to get the results they need over the remaining 5 and just over half a game that he has to try and ensure their Premier League survival, as Simons trips Wiefer and Brighton will win the free kick, level with their own penalty area. Wiefer just getting ahead of the Tottenham man. Van Hecke under pressure from Solanke, has to turn away, go back to his goalkeeper, who takes a touch, and that allows Gallagher to put pressure on him, and now Verbruggen puts pressure on Van Hecke, and Brighton have lost it, and Bentancur picks it up to Simons, level with the edge of the penalty area. Solanke, left edge of the area, driving into the penalty area, looking for options, drops it to Simons, flicks it towards that back post, there comes the header! That's the moment that Tottenham Hotspur have been looking for! Pedro Porro with the header, beautiful flicked ball from Xavi Simons, who is the creator, and Pedro Porro from right back is the finisher. And now the stadium are on their feet, and you can feel the relief. Tottenham 1, Brighton 0.
Yeah, it's a good goal from a Tottenham perspective. They regained the ball high up the park, and Brighton trying to play out and probably overplaying. We know that that's what they do. A turn over the ball, it comes to Simmons, he lofts a lovely cross in swinging, and it's one of them where Verbruggen's coming to try and claim the ball, but he arrives a little bit too late. Very brave from Porro, who leaps really well, centre of the goal. Keeper gets there too late, and it drifts into the middle of the goal. And these fans are ecstatic.
They are indeed. The flags that we saw before kick-off are being waved again around this fantastic stadium. It was a brilliant header from Porro, absolutely no chance for Verbruggen, but a lovely ball from Simons. And that is the moment that everybody inside this stadium has been waiting for. And you can hear the roar as Porro gestures to the crowd behind him as he goes back to his right back position, and they all give a big cheer because they are all in this together and they all want to see this Tottenham Hotspur team survive in this Premier League.
Well, that's what that sign down to our right hand side says: all together, always. There's something, this Brighton team will test that, that's for sure, but that's a good goal and it's a well-worked goal. I think the key to the goal is the timing of the run from Porro. He times it brilliantly well. He makes it late, but he times it perfectly well to stay onside, and he's brave to get his head on that ball.
It is his first Premier League goal of the season, and what a time to do it. So Tottenham 1, Brighton 0, 5 minutes to go in this first half, but let's head back to York City and get an update with Ross Heaton.
38 gone, York 1, Yeovil 0. The Minstermen doing their part to try and seal the title, but second place Rochdale, they lead. So as it stands, York stays top by 2 points and are not promoted today. York 1, Yeovil 0.
What a passage of play from Tottenham. Xavi Simons, his shot comes back off the post and then it is absolutely fired over the bar via deflection, so Tottenham will win the corner kick. That was an incredible move from Spurs out of absolutely nothing. Solanke down the left-hand side plays a lovely ball across to Simons, who takes a great touch, gets it on his right foot and just sees the shot come back off the far post.
Yeah, it was brilliant play, really was. Simons does great to check back on his right foot. Not too much pace on the finish. Just drifting. You think it might go in off the post. Pops back out. Colmo is coming in late and it just evades him.
So Spurs with a corner. Their tails are up here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Porro in towards the back post, punch clear by Verbruggen, and it will fall to Matoma, but Simons is there, and now Simons goes down. He's claiming for the free kick, but it's not going to be given. It is going to be a throw in to Brighton on that far side. But Xavi Simons, he's had a big influence in this game, the little Dutchman. And there have been calls for him to be playing more regular football, getting more minutes. He is a creative spark in this Tottenham team, and he's shown it today so far.
Yeah, he is, and that's a criticism of this Tottenham team. They have lacked creativity. They've lacked them players with real guile, ones that are going to come between the lines and make something happen. And you have to say, Simons has done that. That was a delightful cross for the goal. There was great weight on it. He clipped it. He didn't whip it. Gave Porro just enough time to get there, and he's going to be the spark. He's going to be the one that they'll need to find in that number 10 position, drifting in off that left-hand side.
Just 4 goals this season, only one of them coming in the Premier League, Xavi Simons, but he has got some real ability to create opportunities. We've seen it today, that Pedro Porro goal that has Spurs leading. 43 minutes on the clock. It could have been 2, but for that far post, denying Simons. And now Spurs, an opportunity again. Lovely crossfield ball into the path of Udogie, who heads it past Minte, and he's driving towards the area. Heavy touch, though, allows Van Hecke to come and clear that out for a Tottenham throw and right on the halfway line. But this stadium has come to life, Andy.
It has indeed, and Brighton are just trying to hang on to half-time now to see if they can reorganise and regroup, because it's all Tottenham at the moment, playing some really good football, really confident. The fans are coming right with them. You can hear the noise, and the players are responding out there, that's for sure.
Free kick for Brighton, Solanke and Van Hecke. That battle continuing. You touched on it earlier, and now Solanke's going to get a little word from referee Stuart Atwell. There's been a few clashes between those two. Van Hecke coming off the worst there, shoulder right in the chin.
Yeah, I think the referee's got that one right. I think Solanke wasn't really looking at the ball, and as the ball started to come down, Van Hecke is stepping forward, Solanke's coming back, just had his shoulder in line with his chin, and that was a sore one for Van Hecke.
Well, Brighton's away form has been very good of late. They've won their last 3 away from home without conceding, so the opportunity to win 4 away games in a row in the top flight without conceding has gone now. They need to find a way back into this one, but let's get another update from York City with Ross Heaton.
York 2, Yeovil 0. Josh Stones with a side footer. The leaders on course to keep their 2-point lead over Rochdale, who also lead. 42 gone. York 2, Yeovil 0.
So York City's promotion on hold at the moment with Rochdale winning, but if that was to change, they could secure their return to the EFL this afternoon as Tottenham have a throw-in down on the halfway line, where the fourth official is about to let us know how much added time we have, and it's 5 minutes, which we enter now at the end of this first half. So 5 minutes for Tottenham to at least hold on to this goal lead, if not better. They do not want to give Brighton a glimmer of hope of a way back into this one, as Van de Ven battles with Gross and comes out better. He's still going, and then Solanke with the ball, too much on it, looking for the run of a doggy that wasn't forthcoming, so Wiefer will take the throw-in.
Yeah, you mentioned about somebody holding on. It's not Tottenham holding on, not by any stretch. It's Brighton. They're really struggling at the moment. They're struggling to get a foothold in the game. The tempo is just too high for them at the minute. They can't really live with how Tottenham are pressing them, how Tottenham are playing through the lines quickly. The physical battle at this point in time is most certainly being won by Tottenham.
Well, Roberto De Zerbi got his first match day notes in the programme in his first home game in charge, and he says in it, "I truly believe that once we win one game, there will be a shift in momentum." Is that all it takes, just that one win, to turn things around, the mentality around, the confidence around?
Yeah, it can do that. You know, that 3 points, all of a sudden the table will look a lot healthier, and the confidence will be up. They'll be starting to believe in what De Zerbi is trying to get across to his players. Judging by this first half performance so far, it looks like they believe in what he's trying to teach them.
Lovely little nutmeg from Bentancur, but the touch afterwards allows Brighton back in, but that's a loose pass from Minty. Gallagher picks it up, looking for Simons, who goes down, nothing given. Brighton pick up possession in the centre circle. Ayari looking for options forward, finds Gross on this right hand side. He's got Minty outside him, but he opts to go into the area. Welbeck just can't get his head on it. It falls though to Kadioglu. Now Ayari again he moves the ball out to Gross, and again Gross delivers into the area looking for the far post. Matoma's in there. What a finish! Kaoru Mitoma, absolutely sensational. The long floated ball from Pascal Gross to the far post. What a tight angle, and Mitoma volleys it first time, left-footed, into the top corner. There are not many players on that pitch who could pull off a finish like that, Andy Reid, and it's got it now to Tottenham 1, Brighton 1.
Wow. Absolutely incredible goal that. It's a brilliant ball from Gross. He whips it towards the back post, and you're wondering what Mitoma is going to do. Is he going to try and take it down because he's got a bit of time, he's got a bit of space at that back post? He's having none of it. Left foot, side foot volley, controls it so well, brilliantly controlled, and it goes in just under the crossbar. What a spectacular goal that is. I can't give that goal high enough praise. The level of technical ability to be able to control that football, to get the pace on it. Incredible goal, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is stunned.
Absolutely stunned, but I imagine also a little bit amazed at just the sheer quality of that finish from Kaoru Mitoma. That is well worth watching back tonight on Match of the Day. BBC One at 10:25 with Gabby, Joe Hart and Ashley Williams. Stunning finish.
It's one of the best goals I've seen all season. I have to say that, people might not understand the technical ability and what it takes to be able to control a ball that's coming at you at that pace. Really, really top level.
Brighton coming forward again. Mitoma shifts it onto that right foot, looks for the pull back to the edge of the area to Wiefer now, gets it, but there's a good foot in there from a doggy to deny Brighton the opportunity. Again, this game, the momentum has shifted with that Brighton goal right before half-time, and what a time to score it as well.
Yeah, it's a great time to score, and if you think back to that Nottingham Forest game a few weeks back, they conceded just before half-time, and when they did concede just before half-time, it really affected the rest of the performance. We mentioned how on the mentality, conceding a goal, how it can take it out of you, and these Tottenham players are going to have to show some resilience now. They're going to have to show capabilities of a good mentality.
And a big lift for Brighton, who were under real pressure going behind, and Tottenham were asking all sorts of questions, and that one off the post by Simons looks a little bit more costly now as Wiefer just looks for the run of Gross on the edge of the area, but a good foot in to clear for Spurs, and Wiefer will take the throw in down below us, and there, thought that was a half-time whistle, but it's just the referee asking him to go a little bit deeper with his throw-in. But it's incredible how the balance of a game can shift, and it has got a little bit quieter in here now, and we can see some of the home fans, they've decided to go and get a cup of tea before the half-time whistle, and I don't know if they would have done that had they still been leading.
Yeah, I think momentum in football is huge. It really is. You can actually see players' heads drop almost instantly.
A header opportunity for Hinchelwood. Gets on the end of the cross from Mitoma, and his header, all on his own in the middle of the penalty area, goes wide of Kinski's right-hand post. But there is the half-time whistle, and what a 45 minutes it's been. Tottenham have been very, very good, very strong, got themselves ahead through Pedro Porro. Simons with a lovely little dinked ball, with Porro headed past Verbruggen, and then they had another opportunity to double their lead. Simons chopping it onto his right foot, but his caressed effort towards the far post comes off the post, and then it can't be finished off by Porro in the follow-up. And right before half-time, just when it looked like Brighton were struggling to get a foothold in this game, Mitoma comes up with one of the finishes of the season. Absolutely sensational volley at the far post with his left foot to make it at the break. Tottenham 1, Brighton 1.
Andy Reid, that was some finish, wasn't it? Side-footed into the top corner.
Yeah, I honestly I can't overstate the how good the kind of technical capabilities and how high of a technical level it needs to be to control that ball that's being whipped into the back post on his left foot. He doesn't try and strike it with the laces. He almost opens his
side-footed, doesn't he?
Side-foot volley, but to get that power and to get that accuracy, it's past Kinski before he can even move. It's an incredible goal. It is one of my favourite goals that I've seen for a long time.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I would agree with you, Andy. And then the issue is there's just always one person who wants to sort of take the joy out of a goal like that.
You're saying me, are you?
Well, you said to me you miss hitting.
I said I think he was aiming for the other side of the goal, and it went in. It was brilliant, and it looked brilliant. But I think a player would aim for the other side there, other than Mitoma, obviously.
Andy, we'll be back for your joy with Ailey for the second half. 1-1 there. Honestly, Chris, half-time in the Women's World Cup qualifier, Iceland-England. Rob Schofield.
Iceland 0, England 1. Mark Alessia Russo with the goal after a rare Iceland foray forwards after 20 minutes. Lauren Hemp split the defence to assist in this landmark 500th fixture in the Reykjavik sunshine. Serena Wigman's side needed to back up that win over Spain at Wembley. They've got the 3-point lead again at the top of the group, crucial with only the top team qualifying automatically for the World Cup. England lead by 1-0 at the break.
As things stand at half-time, the race to get promoted automatically out of the National League is going down to the final day of the season. Rochdale lead at Braintree, so it keeps leaders York in their sights, who are being watched by Ross Heaton.
York 2, Yeovil 0, and the title-chasing Minster men monopolising possession and deservedly in front from neatly taking goals from Pearce and Stones. The hosts, as you say, on course to keep their 2-point advantage over Rochdale, who lead at Braintree. The two meeting next week. As it stands, there won't be a promotion party here at the break. York 2, Yeovil 0.
Elsewhere in the day's football, Brentford and Fulham drew 0-0. Leeds beat Wolves 3-0. If Spurs win at home to Brighton, Wolves are relegated this evening. Bournemouth won 2-1 at Newcastle. Chelsea, Manchester United is an 8 o'clock kickoff. In the Championship, Millwall went second as they beat QPR. Southampton stay a point behind them. They got a late winner at Swansea in the race for the final playoff spot. Hull drew, but Wrexham and Derby both won. Leicester and Oxford stay in the bottom three after they both lost today. Cardiff have been promoted from League One to the Championship. They won at Reading. And Exeter's goalkeeper got a late equaliser at home to Stockport. So that means Stockport now can't be promoted automatically. Lincoln and Cardiff go up from League One. Bromley have been promoted from League Two because Notts County lost at home to Barnet. At the bottom, Harrogate got a late winner at home to Colchester. They stay bottom of the table, but they are just 1 point from safety. Barrow, the other side in the bottom two, they lost at home to Walsall, but like Harrogate, are a point from safety. Opening day of the World Snooker, Jamie Broughton.
And the three-time world champion Mark Williams has started his campaign today. Williams leads the Polish debutant Anthony Kowalski by 6 frames to 3 after the opening session of play in their first round match. Meanwhile, Zhao Guodong is currently 5-3 up against Zhou Yulong, and tonight the defending champion Zhao Jingtong will resume his match against Liam Highfield. Jingtong is 5-4 up. 10 is the target for victory.
Dunfermline are into the final of the Scottish Cup. They beat Falkirk on penalties. They'll face the winner of Celtic against St Mirren, which is tomorrow. Leicester and Northampton were the winners in the Gallagher Prem. Bath currently lead Harlequins 21-8 at half-time. France and England were winners in the Women's Six Nations. Ireland lead Italy 45-10 at half-time. Wakefield thrashed Bradford in Super League. Warrington 6-0 up at Catalan 20 minutes into the first half. Reaction to the day's football to come.
The UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. President Trump says very good conversations are taking place with Iran, but the US won't be blackmailed over the Strait of Hormuz. It's after Tehran again closed the key shipping route and accused Washington of piracy over its continuing blockade of Iranian ports. Iran says it's reviewing new peace proposals from the US. At least 6 people have been killed after a man opened fire in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. The gunman who took people hostage in a supermarket has been killed by police. The former most senior civil servant in the Foreign Office is expected to answer MPs' questions on Tuesday over the decision to appoint Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to the United States. Sir Ollie Robbins was forced to resign on Thursday. The Prime Minister says it's staggering that he was not caused, no injuries were reported and no arrests have been made.
They're on a journey into the unknown.
We've got a checkpoint to get to!
Hey, stop the race! If you're loving Race Across the World, then unpack every episode on our brand new video podcast with me, Tyler West.
And me, Alfie Watts, with all the highlights, all the lowlights, more stories and more behind the scenes.
And if there's space, we'll squeeze in a few travel tips too.
It's the video podcast you can't miss.
Race Across the World, The Detour. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Preview action to the day's Premier League football. At Ellen Road, Leeds beat Wolves 3-0. If Spurs win against Brighton this evening, it's currently 1-1 at half-time, then Wolves will be relegated from the Premier League. Here's Rob Edwards.
Look, we know the situation, how difficult we've known for a long, long time, but it doesn't change. There's 5 more Premier League games that the world is watching. It's up to us to try and find some results, because that's ultimately what what we want. We want to try and take some momentum forward. If we can do that, it's going to reflect better on everybody, the football club, on us and on the players. The lads are fighting, they're trying now, but we've been punished in the last two games with some errors. Like 1 minute in both games has completely changed the game.
Newcastle beaten 2-1 at home by Bournemouth. They stay 14th in the table. Here's Eddie Howe with Chris Coles.
Yeah, really disappointing. Similar feeling to recent weeks, really, where as you say, we'd worked hard. It wasn't a game of a lot of chances for us, unfortunately, at home. That was, again, one of the most disappointing factors for me, the lack of chance creation, the lack of real saves that the opposition goalkeeper had to make. And then, of course, the big moments at the other end where we didn't defend well enough in our individual actions to prevent the 2 goals we conceded. So, tough one for us to take.
The fans made their feelings clear at half-time and full-time. What did you make of their reaction?
No, very fair. I thought in between that, I thought the supporters were really good. I think they were doing their best to try and help the team, help the players individually. Got no criticism or critique of that. I thought they were really there for us. I thought they were wanting us to do well today. But of course we have to do our bit, and if we don't, you have to accept criticism.
And I know that every Premier League manager operates under a certain level of pressure, but do you feel you're operating under more pressure now given the results that you've had?
Yeah, of course. I think I don't know, the word pressure is a funny one, but you can feel that things aren't easy for us at the moment, and I think in turn the players feel that the same way that I would. There's only one way to fix that.
Another good performance, though, and another good win for Andoni Iraola's side.
I think first half we played really well. I think we were really happy of the performance. Probably not too much with the 1-0 because we missed a clear chance. I think Van Nilsson, and probably we could capitalize more. And then Newcastle have reacted. We expected a little bit half-time the reaction. We said it's not going to be enough with 1 goal. If we want to win, we need to score more goals. And it has been like this. And they've pushed us. They put us under some pressure. I was a little bit worried when you concede the 1-1. Also the way we conceded after the VAR probably changes the momentum of the game. And you can kind of drop, but it didn't happen. I think they've shown composure, keep playing the ball, and we've scored also a lovely second goal.
How pleased were you that this week didn't seem to affect your players? It must have been emotional for everyone, but it didn't seem to affect them on the pitch.
I knew it was not going to affect them, but I knew also that if we lose today, the reason would be that one, and everyone would say, no, it was not the moment to say it. And I think we've risked a little bit to say it between Arsenal and Newcastle away. But it was the best moment we thought, no, that could affect less, or the timing was as good as we thought, and I'm happy that at least we cannot blame me in this case and the timing because we didn't get the result.
Let's go into the Football League. 2 promotions sorted today. Bromley promoted from League 2 without even playing because Notts County were beaten. And Cardiff have gone up from League 1 to the Championship thanks to a 3-1 win at Reading. Their captain, Ruben Colwell, got the first.
I think proud is the most thing. It's been a tough season. We worked really hard, and to get it over the line today is unbelievable.
How much difference has the manager made? Because he came in last summer and things were quite beleaguered. What kind of differences has he made?
Yeah, I think that is probably the difference. We were in a tough spot last season. Yeah, it probably wasn't great, but yeah, to come in this season, fresh ideas, fresh thinking, a new lease of life, really, it's been unbelievable, and that's definitely been the difference maker.
Promotion's been on the cards obviously for a little while, but how much of a relief is it to get over the line now? And were you on the pitch able to follow what was going on at Exeter at all?
Yeah, obviously it's been a bit of a delay. We've been a few points ahead for a while now, and the results just haven't gone away really. We've been playing really well, keeping our same high standards, just sometimes it doesn't go your way. And yeah, there were so many of them here today. They were so loud, like it was just every time Exeter scored, you just knew instantly. We were trying to focus on what we were doing, but they were so loud and energetic, like we just knew. And obviously I was off the pitch at the time when Exeter equalised at the end, so yeah, we were all just going crazy in the bench like that.
And the atmosphere was good today, but midweek back at home, that will be quite something, won't it? Promotion party.
Yeah, it'll be unbelievable. I can't wait to get back there now. Yeah, it was really special today, but to go back home now and play another game there in front of the fans, it'll be unbelievable.
Ruben Colwell with Andy Stevenson. So Cardiff, Bromley, Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup final, just so many positive stories around for 606.
There are many positive
Leeds winning again.
Yeah, big deal. Leeds winning 3 and easy. I mean, people sort of wondering whether Daniel Farke was the right man in charge at the start of the season. Proven a lot of his doubters wrong. I didn't realise that they're only 3 points behind Newcastle now. So, I mean, if you're a Newcastle fan, I think worrying times. But is your
positive
faith,
for Leeds?
Positive for Leeds, yes. But we've got to talk about Newcastle. Is your faith dwindling in Eddie Howe? Should there be a change in the summer and a new head in for next season? Iriola's off at Bournemouth, isn't he? It looks like Marco Rosa is possibly coming in. Does he excite you, Bournemouth fans? And in the Championship, Coventry back up under Frank Lampard. I mean, that is a big deal. 25 years. I mean, I used to play a lot against Coventry in the Premier League, so good to see them back. But can Coventry hold on to Frank Lampard? That would be the question to Coventry fans. I probably shouldn't be asking.
So you're veering towards the negative.
No, but he has. I've got a hell of a lot of admiration for Frank Lampard because I think people sort of would view him in sort of various ways, or his management career. But I thought he was gutsy to go to Coventry, and yeah, I mean he's done a phenomenal job. And at the bottom, big win for West Brom and Leicester City. How the mighty have fallen.
Phone number?
08085 909 693.
These trails don't get any better several years on. And you will have updates of Chelsea, Manchester United.
Yes, we will. 8 o'clock kickoff.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just switch to the Gallagher Prem. Currently Bath 21, Harlequins 8. Earlier, Finn Smith trying the final seconds. Saw Gallagher Prem leaders Northampton beat Exeter 35-28. Here's their director of rugby, Phil Dowson.
We lost fair and square last week, and we knew the elements of our game weren't good enough. We worked hard on those elements during the week, and we talked about them honestly and openly. Incredibly coachable group. You know, you see the reaction and the way we defended. You know, throughout the game, I thought we were excellent. And Exeter are a very good side, and so to come here and get the points by the skin of our teeth is just reward for our efforts this week.
Because Exeter started like a train, didn't they? 14-0, they really were building something.
Yeah, and again, that comes back to the resilience of the mindset of the lads just to keep sticking away. And I thought just the score just before half-time was obviously telling as well. To get that back to 14-all gave us a big fill-up, and we felt pretty good at half-time that we could maybe go up.
And then the live sport keeps going after 6:06 tonight. More boxing. Wolverhampton's Ben Whittaker defending his undefeated record against Argentina's Brian Suarez. Commentary from around 9 o'clock here on 5 Live. Both teams back out, ready to get back underway at Tottenham. Andy Reid and Ailey Barber.
Thanks, Mark. A massive 45 minutes for both of these teams for very different reasons to come. Tottenham had this place jumping when they took the lead through Pedro Porro, but right before half-time, Brighton, with a sensational equaliser from Kaoru Mitoma, has things all square, one apiece. And this, Andy Reid, is possibly where we find out a little bit more about this Spurs team under Roberto De Zerbi. They will need to look to leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. They played well in that first half, and I think what got them a foothold in the game was the tempo that they played in. They need to keep that tempo high. They need to get after Brighton, put pressure on them, keep this crowd engaged, and not show the frailties that they did against Forest a few weeks ago when they conceded just before half-time. That's gone now. They know the character within this team. It's been questioned all season, there's no doubt about that, and now they need to stand up to the challenge.
Well, an early free kick for Brighton, midway between the halfway line and Tottenham's penalty area. On that right-hand side, Hinchelwood just going down under the challenge. So very early on in this second half, an opportunity for Brighton to put the ball into the area. No changes for either team at the break. I'll run through the two 11s very shortly. Brighton were forced into a change in the first half. Injury to Diego Gomez. Kaoru Mitoma, the player to replace him, and he is the man that got Brighton level before the break. So Pascal Gross with a free kick into the area. Van Hecke climbs highest, but his header off target and goes behind for a Tottenham goal kick. So let me run you through the two teams. For Tottenham, it was 4 changes from the side that started at Sunderland last week. Kinski still in goal, still no Vicario. He is here, but he's watching on from the stands. Van de Ven and Danso, the centre-back partnership. Udogie on the left, Porro, the goal scorer, on the right. Bentancur, Gallagher, Basuma in the middle. Simons on the left, Kolomuani on the right, and Solanke leading the line. And it is Solanke on the ball now, driving towards Brighton's penalty area. Drops it off to Simons, just shifts it onto his right foot. He had the overlap from Udogie, didn't use it. Now the ball goes into the area. It's over the top of Kolomoani's head though, and out for a Brighton goal kick.
Yeah, kind of half chances at both ends there. Van Hecke from that free kick, I thought he should have done better. He started offside, come back the direction on it, and then Tottenham with a decent break there. I think Solanke has been good for Tottenham this afternoon so far, and he secures that ball when it comes up really well. And what it does, it gives Tottenham a foothold to be able to get up the pitch and get some of them attacking players high up there.
Well, Minty just winning the ball ahead of a dog. He gets the ball into the 6-yard area where Welbeck was coming in, but Danso gets there just ahead of him and takes a knock in the process. He's down on the ground. I'll run you through the Brighton team, which is started off as the same starting 11 to the one that started at Burnley, but Mitoma has replaced Gomez in that. So Verbruggen in goal, Kadioglu, Buscagli, Van Hecke and Wiefer the back four, Ayari and Gross in midfield with Hinchelwood just ahead of them. Mitoma on the left, Minte on the right, and Danny Welbeck leads the line as Brighton have a throw-in on the far side level with the edge of Tottenham's penalty area. Just looking for options. Minte may be one for Wiefer, but he stops the throw-in again, getting a little bit of stick from the crowd. Now it goes into Hinchelwood, right edge of the area, back out to Gross, to Minte, who's forced back, manages to skip away from the challenge of Simons though, and drops it back to Buscagli, who goes back onto that right hand side where Gross is still lingering. It was his cross that found Minte. This one finds Hinchelwood, back to the edge of the area, shot from Ayari, blocked, and now it comes in from Mitoma, blocked again. There are shouts from the Brighton fans for handball with every block. Nothing given though. Good opportunity for Brighton, good couple of shots.
Yeah, two good opportunities for them there and two good blocks from Tottenham.
Mitoma, left-hand edge of the area, tries to get the ball across and it's been scooped out. It will be a corner kick. It's come off Bentancur, I think it was, last of all. Kinski couldn't gather either, and Brighton with another set-piece opportunity, and they've come out strong the start of this second half, buoyed by that goal right before half-time.
Yeah, they have. They start the second half really well, and really tricky customers in the wide areas. Mitoma on this left-hand side, he's so good in a 1v1 situation. Minta on that right-hand side. When they face you up 1v1, it's very difficult to defend against them.
Well, they are now shooting from our right to left, Brighton, which is where their travelling fans occupy that corner of the stadium here in Tottenham. The sunshine that bathed them just beginning to clear as the sun sets behind us, as Spurs get the ball away, and Simon's foot race with Kadioglu, but it will be Kadioglu who gets there first and hooks it over his head. Van Hecke flicks it on. Hinchelwood into Mitoma on that right hand side. He goes down under the challenge, and it will be a Brighton free kick just inside Tottenham's half.
Yeah, Kadioglu had a decision to make there. Did he have made the right decision there? He had to hook that because Simmons was hunting him down.
Pascal Gross on this left hand side flicks it to Mitoma, who's up against Bentancur, gets it back to Gross. Brighton enjoying a spell of possession at the start of this second half, and possession that is in Tottenham's final third. Gross, lovely one-touch football to Mitoma. Mitoma now goes down under the challenge of Bentancur, and it will be a free kick to Tottenham because Mitoma fell on top of the ball, handled it.
He thought he was going to get the free kick, and he just grabbed the ball back. The referee says no free kick. It's a free kick to Tottenham.
Yeah, just looking back at it there, I'm not sure how much contact there was on Mitoma. He certainly felt something to grab the ball, but Tottenham now with possession. They need to get the crowd back on side. They were very much on their side during that first half, but stunned into silence with Mitoma's equaliser. Simons on the halfway line with Basuma. Basuma now spreads the play to Danso, who's got Basuma on this right hand side, drops it to Gallagher, who's had to go backwards under pressure from Kadioglu, who's now chasing the back pass down to Kinski, but Kinski does well. He's very good with his feet, Kinski. I think we saw that in the game against Sunderland. Very composed, which is impressive considering what he went through not that long ago. Kolomoani gets the better of Mitoma. Lovely drag back into his left foot, finds Porro. Porro stopped in his tracks though, but it falls to Kolomoani, and now the cross from Gallagher is poor and it's cleared, and it will be a Tottenham throw-in.
Yeah, well, the tempo's picking up again. Both teams really going at this game. They, the 3 points is what both of them really crave, and it's shown out on the pitch. Really good tempo, end to end. manager's getting involved. De Zerbi's just been booked.
Zerbi actually was sent off by Stuart Atwell in a game against Spurs when he was the Brighton manager for squaring up against the interim Spurs boss, Stellini, at the time.
Yeah, well, he's so animated, isn't he, that when things don't go his way, he can't hide it.
Yeah, those two rekindling their perhaps not quite so warm friendship, Stuart Atwell and Roberto De Zerbi. So De Zerbi gets the yellow card, but Kevin Danso with the ball in his hands looks like he's going to go for a long throw down in front of us, a throw in level with the edge of the penalty area. So he winds one up, in it goes, and it's headed clear by Van Hecke, falls to the feet of Matoma, who launches it forward. And now it is a foot race for Minte. He's so quick, he gets there first ahead of a dog who backheels it, but nobody's kept up with Minte, and Spurs win possession back on this right hand side. Porro launches it towards Solanke, too much on it. Will it fall into the hands of Verbruggen? Well, Solanke got a touch and it's popped up in the air, and Verbruggen grabs it at the second attempt.
Yeah, Verbruggen's lucky there because he looked way too casual, and Solanke didn't stop running. He closed down all the way and he got his head on the ball, and it could have turned out differently.
Good tempo to this game in the second half. 53 minutes on the clock. It's still Tottenham 1, Brighton 1. But we've had a few glimpses at either end.
Yeah, I feel that Tottenham are better when there's a high tempo to the game. When the game slows down and Brighton start to knock the ball about and they get the possession, I think Tottenham start dropping deeper and deeper and it becomes difficult for them. But if the tempo stays high, then Tottenham are better in this game.
They like a little bit of chaos. Roberto De Zerbi's teams be quite happy to disrupt this game as much as possible and disrupt Brighton's flow. But it is Brighton on the ball. Van Hecke's pass through to Hinchelwood, though, cut out by Bissouma. So now Tottenham with an opportunity to come forward, urged on by this crowd here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bentancur just skips away from a challenge, feeds Bissouma on the halfway line. Simons back into Bentancur. This is the fourth of 5 Premier League games today. Brentford-Fulham was 0-0 in the early kickoff. Leeds a huge win against Wolves by 3-0. If Spurs win here today, that will relegate Wolves this afternoon. Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 2. It's 1 apiece here at Tottenham, and then coming up at 8 o'clock, Chelsea against Manchester United, the late kickoff, and you'll see all the goals tonight. BBC Match of the Day, 10:25. Long ball looking for Kolomoani, but it's going to run out of play. Also today, the Women's Six Nations, Ireland against Italy is underway. It is Ireland 50, Italy 10, with 46 minutes gone in that game. A fist pump from Andy Reid alongside me. Enjoy that score so far?
Yeah, absolutely.
I did not enjoy the one from Murrayfield earlier today. Scotland 7, England 84. An absolutely emphatic victory from England.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
No. Wales 7, France 38, the other score from today's Women's Six Nations. All the highlights you can find on the BBC iPlayer. Just search for Women's Six Nations. Bentancur spreads the play out to Danso. Spurs looking to build from the back as Danso drives forward. He's got an option with Porro, who's come really high up this right-hand side. He does find him. Porro does well to just stretch and keep the ball in play. He now looks forward, gets the ball in, looking for Solanke, but Van Hecke is there. His clearance is high and not particularly far. Van Hecke is going to have to be called into action again, gets his head on it. Kolomoani just trying to hold off Gross, and now it goes out, and it will be a Brighton goal kick. But again, Tottenham just trying to put something together in that final third and put some pressure on Brighton.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of not pretty sometimes. Sometimes it's almost like trying to bulldoze in there, and Conor Gallagher, he was trying to draw the pressure, and then he thought there was a bit of contact coming. It didn't quite come. He went to go over and then jumped up really quickly because he knew that there wasn't enough contact.
Well, De Zerbi has gone to his bench. Just 56 minutes on the clock. He's decided it's time to make a couple of changes. So Bissouma is coming off. He will be replaced by Archie Gray, and Kolomoani also making way. Mattis Tell replacing him. So a couple of changes for Spurs. What's the thinking, do you think?
Yeah, well, it's like for like, so I don't think there's going to be any change in style or any change in system. I think it's just trying to get a little bit more life, see if they can regain a little bit of control in this game again. See if Tell can maybe come in off that right hand side and be a creative spark that they need, and maybe Archie Gray can bring a little bit of energy and a little bit of calmness to that midfield area.
Archie Gray just missing the challenge there that almost allowed Brighton to start an attack, but Spurs able to get possession again. Porro dinks it into the midfield where it is won by Ayari, but only as far as Bentancur, and now he puts a ball over the top to Tell, who I think he thought he might have been offside there, did he, Tell? Just not able to get on the end of that one.
Yeah, I think he skidded off the surface, but I don't mind that pass from Tottenham, because at times
Verbruggen under real pressure from Conor Gallagher. His shot his clearance charged down, but it goes harmlessly out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I know there's a calmness to the Brighton build, and the keeper, he's supposed to bring that, but there's a difference between calmness and sloppiness. And that's just sloppy. It was just lazy, took way too long, gave Conor Gallagher the opportunity to come in and close him down. It's been a couple of times this afternoon that's happened to him.
Yeah, he's been under pressure a couple of times, and Brighton it was playing themselves into all sorts of problems when Tottenham opened the scoring, playing out from the back, getting caught, so they've caused themselves a couple of problems here this afternoon. Interesting as well that Bart Verbruggen was second choice under Roberto De Zerbi to Jason Steele. It's all changed now under Fabian Hürzeler. Verbruggen very much the number one at Brighton these days. Actually quite a number of players who played under De Zerbi at Brighton, which sort of shows the consistency in their squad over the last few years. Still a few familiar faces that he will see today, but the Spurs fans thinking that they should have had a free kick there. Nothing given. Brighton on the attack. Buscaglia finds Kadioglu out to the goal scorer Mitoma, wide on the left, level with the edge of Spurs penalty area. Just drops the shoulder, tries to get round Porro. Really well defended from Porro.
Yeah, good defender from Porro. He has been good today. I have to say, he's been aggressive. He's defended really well. He's got his body in, and he's actually played well in possession. I just feel though that little probably last 90 seconds just demonstrates what Tottenham don't want to do. They don't want to drop off. They don't want to let Brighton sustain the attack and really be able to pin them in. They need to get pressure on the ball. Where they've got the joy in this game is from pressure high up the pitch and turning over the ball against Brighton.
Really poor pass from Van de Ven gets picked up, and now Ayari goes down looking for a free kick, but nothing given. I think he was caught. He's clutching that ankle, but not enough for Stuart Atwell to award a free kick. But Brighton pick up possession in their own half anyway. Van Hecke just moving forward as Ayari gingerly gets back to his feet.
Something tells me he'll be okay.
He actually has a connection with Tottenham. Ayari, his partner is Kulusevski's sister. There we go, an interesting conversation tonight around the dinner table perhaps. But let's get the team news from that late kick-off. Chelsea against Manchester United.
Chelsea in sixth, now level on points with Brentford and Bournemouth below them. One win in 7, 3 changes from the City defeat. Liam Delap comes in, as does Enzo Fernandez after that 2-game Chelsea imposed ban. United in danger of losing back-to-back matches for the first time this season after defeat against Leeds on Monday. 4 changes. Darlow, Mainu, Heaven and Mbomo coming in.
Henry Moran at Stamford Bridge for that one tonight. Updates throughout 6:06 this evening as Kinski just picks the ball up at his feet and the familiar song starts to spread around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're urging their team forward. The tempo has dropped a little bit, Andy, in this second half as Spurs try to come forward through Doggy, who's left in a heap, and now the tide has turned and it's Minte driving down the right hand side up against Gray, finds Van Hecke, who's made a big run forward. He goes down looking for a free kick, nothing given, and now Minte slides in trying to win possession back just outside the penalty area, and Archie Gray able to put a foot on the ball and bring some possession back to Spurs. Udogie back in his feet, twists away but catches Buscaglia with a flailing arm, and it will be a free kick to Brighton. And Pascal Gross is asking the question of the referee, was that an elbow?
Yeah, I don't think it was an elbow. I think he's caught him. It's difficult to see from this bit, from so far away. I don't think he's caught him with an elbow. I think it's a bit of an arm that he's trying to use as his balance. I think a free kick is the right decision. But the referee has let quite a bit go in this game, particularly in the last probably 5 or 6 minutes. There's been a lot that maybe you might see get blown up for in other games. He's let it flow. You can see the Tottenham fans weren't happy with a couple of bits there with a doggy high up the pitch, and then went up the other way, and then the Brighton fans weren't happy that the referee didn't give them a free kick. So he's let this go, and I quite like it because it adds to the tempo of the game and it keeps the flow.
62 minutes played. It is Tottenham 1, Brighton 1, as Matoma takes a lovely little touch, but able to get across and clear is Matthias Tell, but now it comes forward into Welbeck. They're just outside Spurs penalty area. Hinchelwood spreads it wide to Minty. Wiefer made the overlapping run, didn't find him, and there's a good challenge comes in from Udogie, and now Seaman's able to drive clear, but Van Hecke with a sliding challenge, and Hinchelwood is up against Mickey van de Ven on the edge of the area. Van de Ven comes clear with it. It's end to end. There's not a lot of possession play and keeping a hold of the ball. It's changing over all the time, and again Stuart Atwell's got some sorting out to do here as Van Hecke and Van de Ven both go over, the two captains, for a chat.
Yeah, it's that battle again, Van Hecke and Solanke. Really good battle, two powerful players. Van Hecke tries to nip in front of him to try and win that ball, but he comes through the side. I don't think it's a particularly bad tackle. I don't think it warrants a booking by any stretch of the imagination. But you're right, it's frantic, the game is. There's a lot of turnover in possession. Nobody's really got any control of the game, and there's a lot of transitions, a lot of turnovers where if you do play forward quickly, you can find yourself in a lot of space.
Cross from the right hand side, Matoma lurking at the back post, an important header in there from Danso to clear, goes all the way out. It will be a Brighton throw in on this near side, level with Tottenham's penalty area, and Kadioglu just slowly making his way towards the touchline, tries to find Matoma. Porro's in there to clear it. Will be another throw in right down next to the corner flag, and it does feel a little bit like there's a lull in the game in terms of the energy levels, and it's quite understandable because it's been played at a frantic pace, this game.
Yeah, well, I think that's what you're asking of the Tottenham players. Can they keep that tempo? Can they keep that intensity to go after Brighton? Because it does feel like there's a lull, but I think the lull suits Brighton because they get on the ball, they want to keep possession, they want to try and make Tottenham walk, they want to make them run, and as long as that's going on, Tottenham aren't able to get pressure on the ball. So again, they need a little bit of tempo back in the game, Tottenham do.
Boscagli going forward, looking for Welbeck, jumping up against Van de Ven, but it's Matoma it drops to, and then he tries to get past Danso, goes down on the edge of the area, and it is going to be a free kick to Brighton right on the edge of the penalty area, and a yellow card as well to Kevin Danso. Right decision, Andy?
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. The reason I think it was the right decision is that Danso never turns to look at the ball. He runs straight at Matoma. He never looks like he's trying to make any effort to get to the ball, and he just blocks off Matoma's run. A booking may be a little bit harsh, but I definitely think it's a free kick, and it's a free kick in a dangerous area.
A really dangerous area, just left of centre, right on the edge of the area where the vanishing spray has been put down on the pitch, is surrounded currently by players of both the yellow shirts of Brighton and the white shirts of Tottenham, as Stuart Atwell just tries to sort out the distance of Tottenham's wall. And this is a really big moment in the game, and I can't help but think back as well to another big moment in this game when Xavi Simons saw his shot come back off the post at 1-0. That would have made it 2, and it could be a very different game, but it is now Brighton with an opportunity to put themselves in front in this game for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big moment in the game, and it wasn't long after that there Brighton got back into it. Just Danny Welbeck has placed the ball. He wants it. There's no doubt about that. I think there's enough of an angle and there's enough distance between the ball and the goal to get it up and down over that wall, get it to dip at the last minute.
Well, Tottenham have set up a 5-man wall with a draft excluder, and then there's a little cluster of 3 Brighton players just to the left-hand side off that wall where Porro is guarding that, as Welbeck takes it right-footed straight into the wall and cleared. Didn't get the height on it, Welbeck. It was into the midriff really of the wall. Poor free kick.
Yeah, I don't think he's done enough with that free kick. I don't think he's just gone for power. He's just gone to try and blast it, and I just thought a bit more guile. Get it up over the wall, get some whip on it. He didn't do that. Straight at the wall, and poor, because that was a disappointment. It was a really good area, and you'd be disappointed if you were Brighton with that free kick.
Well, Tottenham making another change, and Paulinho is coming on. He's replacing Rodrigo Bentancur, who started today after missing the last 11 games with a hamstring injury. So he's managed 67 minutes on his return, which will be very good news for De Zerbi and for Tottenham to have him back fit and available. But Paulinho comes on for the last 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes of this one, as Tell gets the cross in, but not a single Tottenham player around that 6-yard area. It goes all the way through to Udogie. Now Siemens on that left edge of the penalty area, looks for the 1-2 with Paulinho, gets it back, chops onto his right foot. Great block by Van Hecke as far as Paulinho's shot. Well saved by Verbruggen, through bodies. Verbruggen saw it late, but it was straight at him. What an almost instant impact that was for Joao Paulinho.
Yeah, well, Paulinho is shot through about 5 or 6 players. It's taken a deflection, and Verbruggen's seen it really, really late, and if it had been anywhere either side of him, it would have gone in. I think it might have even taken 2 deflections. He's done really well to react to that, but it was in the middle of the goal, and that's what saved Brighton that time.
He just got a left knee down to it before it squirmed under his body by Verbruggen, and it is a corner now to Tottenham. Porro down in front of us, ready to swing this one, an outswinger with his right foot. So Tottenham trying to swing momentum their way. It's gone deep, it's looking for that back post. Header is one, but it's going to be a free kick to Brighton. And how often have we seen that today from Tottenham set pieces?
Yeah, that's 3 times that they've given away free kicks trying to block. Now, we understand that blocking goes on all the time, but what referees give free kicks for is persistent holding. If it goes on too long, then you're going to give a free kick, and he's looking straight at it. You know he's looking straight at it. You can block, you can get in the way, but you can't hold on too long, or he's going to give a free kick.
Well, Brighton as well going to be making a couple of changes very shortly, but let's get an update in the Women's World Cup qualifier. Iceland against England, and Rob Schofield.
74 minutes on the clock, Iceland 0, England 1. Much more even second half. England came out cold after Williamson was replaced by Wubben-Moy at the break. Lots of misplaced passes, inviting pressure. Russo's goal still the difference. Recent changes have helped, with Meade's header just saved and Park also getting the ball forward quicker now. But as we enter the 75th minute, it's Iceland 0, England 1.
Brighton on the ball with Pascal Gross, still 1 apiece here as we approach the 70-minute mark, and Matt O'Reilly and Georgina Rutter down below us preparing to come on for Brighton. So Fabian Hutzler will make some changes in this second half, forced into an early change with injury to Diego Gomez, but it was Kaoru Mitoma who came on for him, and he was the man that brought Brighton level, a goal that is well worth watching back on Match of the Day tonight, 10:25 on BBC One. An absolute cracker of a volley, and Andy Reid, you absolutely loved it.
I loved it. Incredible goal, really was. How he controlled it, the power, pace that he got on it before Kinski, before he could, it was past him before he could even move.
Brighton moving the ball forward inside the centre circle. It comes out to the left-hand side to the goal scorer Mitoma, just twisting, turning, looking for a few options. He doesn't have anything ahead of him, so he will go back to Gross on the halfway line, and to Boscagli. Out again to this left-hand side, Kadioglu. Inside to Van Hecke, who covers a huge amount of ground, Jan-Paul Van Hecke, for a centre-back. Gets involved further up the pitch. He has attracted a lot of attention, as have a lot of Brighton players. They tend to do, the Brighton players. It's a squad that many look at. Van Hecke forward to Hinchelwood, little deft touch in behind, looking for Welbeck, and it's flicked off Kinski. He didn't convincingly get it clear, but he managed at the second attempt before Welbeck could pounce.
Yeah, he did. It was a back pass from Porro, and Kinski didn't want to pick it up. But it looked shaky at one point. There was a few nerves jangling around here.
Paulinho wins the ball, but Gross is there to pick it up before he can get another foot on the touch, and Spurs launch it clear. Verbruggen will just come out of his area and pick that up, pass it to Boscagli and to Gross, and Gross telling him to switch the play, but he goes back to his goalkeeper, and this time Verbruggen goes long, looking for Mitoma. It falls to Hinchelwood, plays it inside, but wasn't quite what he intended, I don't think, as Van de Ven picks up the ball and drives forward. Now Siemens on the left-hand side. Spurs trying to get into Brighton's final third. Siemens goes down, but the referee says play on. The Spurs fans don't appreciate that decision from the official as Mitoma releases Minte down this left-hand side up against Danso, trying to get the better of Danso, which he does. He's into the area looking for the cross to Welbeck at the back post, but it's easy for Kinski to clutch out of the air, and still Matt O'Reilly and Jorginho Rutter below us waiting to come on.
Yeah, going back to that free kick or the not free kick, the referee didn't give it for Simmons. I think the referee's right. Simmons just tried to leave his leg there. It wasn't a free kick. The referee said play on, but it was brilliant play from Minte over on this left-hand side. He faced Danso up, and we see wingers that want to come inside all the time. Not Minte that time. He goes on the outside, and unfortunately from a Brighton point of view, he couldn't get a good cross into the box, but the individual duel that he took on, taking Danso on the outside, was really good.
Well, we heard the update from Rob Schofield. Iceland 0, England 1. You can also listen to live commentary as Spurs come forward. Conor Gallagher picking it up, edge of the area, tries to just shift the ball, does well with his feet, but it's all the way out, and it's going to be a Brighton goal kick. Initially did well, just ran out of space. So there is full commentary of Iceland, England, the remaining. So all over on 5 Live Sports Extra on the BBC Sounds app, and it finished Albania 0, Wales 1 in their World Cup qualifier. Belgium against Scotland gets underway at 7:30. You can watch that game on the BBC iPlayer or BBC Sport online. Those two locked at the top of their group on 7 points. We just have a little break and play. Mitoma is down, substitution very shortly as well.
Yeah, looks like Mitoma's holding his hamstring, I think.
That would be a real blow for Brighton. He's so important to the way that Brighton attack and play on that left-hand side. He hasn't started a huge number of games recently, but he is vital to them and the way that they play. And he did miss a chunk of the end of the year with a foot injury, so they would be disappointed to see him miss any more game time as Rutter does come on, and Matt O'Reilly. Hinchelwood, one of the players to go off, and Danny Welbeck as well making way. So Rutter will be the man to lead the line for the remaining 15 minutes or so of this one.
Yeah, we're seeing the third substitution here. Mitoma's coming off a hamstring.
And De Kuyper as well will make his way on for Tottenham, as is Lucas Bergwijn. Sorry, De Kuyper will come on for Brighton in that change, replacing Mitoma. But Lucas Bergwijn as well is going to make his way on for
Tottenham. It's been a busy minute for you there.
It's been a busy minute with the substitutions. All happen at once, Andy, don't they? There's also so many players have been in and around that technical area during this little stoppage of play. It's difficult to see who's coming on and who's coming off. Jed Spence as well is going to come on. So first Lucas Bergwijn will replace Conor Gallagher in midfield, and Jed Spence will also be coming on for Tottenham, and he will be replacing Destiny Udogie over on that left hand side. So Spence on for Udogie and Bergwijn on as well. De Kuyper replaces Mitoma for Brighton. Think we're up to date.
You sure?
I have no idea. We're about to get back underway. Brighton with the goal kick. But let's get another update from Reykjavik. Iceland against England, that Women's World Cup qualifier. Hang on a minute, because Tottenham have won the ball back. Siemens, edge of the area, gets a shot away, inside of the post, back of the net. Tottenham are back in front. The substitutes are on the pitch. Xavi Siemens' shirt is off. He's racing towards the corner flag. He's into the crowd. What a moment for Xavi Siemens. Beautiful finish off the inside of the post and in. And Tottenham, the stadium has erupted. It is Tottenham 2, Brighton 1.
Another incredible goal. Absolutely incredible goal. Comes from a turnover. Van Hecke takes too long in possession, turns it over, comes to Simmons, who cuts inside on his right foot, and he curls it into that top corner, in off the post. Incredible goal, and the place, like you've just said, erupted.
You can see exactly what it means to everyone inside this stadium as Xavi Simons just manages to get himself out of, I think he was about the 5 rows back in the stand there, engulfed by Spurs fans. He's found his shirt, he's able to put that back on, and the yellow card, of course, is out for the referee, but that was just sheer joy from Xavi Simons.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. He's got an assist in the first half, and now he's come up with an incredible goal. We've seen 2 fantastic goals this afternoon, 2 goals of the highest order.
A boo from the crowd as Simons gets his yellow card. They knew it was coming.
Yeah, I think there was a new because they've seen it on the big screen, and we're just seeing it this angle from behind the goal. How he catches it brilliantly well. No chance for Verbruggen.
Absolutely no chance. A second Premier League goal of the season for Xavi Simons. His 5th in all competitions, but I'm not sure many are more important than that one. It could be the catalyst to turn this entire season around for Tottenham. And we can see even Vicario on the bench, not part of things today, urging his team on. And the momentum has changed, and the atmosphere inside this stadium has completely changed.
Yeah, it has, and actually probably over the last 10 minutes we haven't seen very much from Brighton at all, and the way things stand, unless something changes for them, I can't really see them getting back into the game, and this could be a vital win for Tottenham.
It could be. We were going to go to Iceland, England. Can we still do that? Get an update from Rob Schofield. Let's get the latest, Rob. Sorry to cut you off there.
Not at all. England still 1-0 up, but Hannah Hampton has pulled off 4 huge saves. It's all Iceland with point-blank efforts and goal-mouth scrambles like she did at Wembley late on against Spain. England's number 1 is preserving the points here for Serena Wiegman. Still 1-0 up with 6 minutes to go.
Dominic Solanke with an effort that is cleared by Van Hekken. Will be a Tottenham corner, and every single pass forward, every single challenge and every single moment that goes Tottenham's way is just greeted by a huge cheer from this crowd.
Yeah, and I think that's going to get louder as this game progresses, as we go into, just about to move into the last 10 minutes. It's a huge 10 minutes for Tottenham Hotspur, really is.
A huge 10 minutes for them indeed as well, but also for Wolves, because as things stand, their defeat today and Spurs leading here, they will be relegated today from the Premier League. That is not on Tottenham's mind. They are only concerned with themselves. Just an added side note as things start to get wrapped up at the end of the season. Porro trying to get the cross in, blocked by O'Reilly. It goes out for a Tottenham throw-in down next to the corner flag. It has been a busy day, a busy weekend. Coventry secured promotion last night. Cardiff City secured promotion today. Bromley were promoted from League 2, didn't even have to play their game after Notts County lost. And Wolves, as things stand, with 10 minutes left to go here, are relegated from the Premier League. A huge 10 minutes though for Tottenham as Bergvall looks to launch the long throw into the middle of the area. Goes towards that front post. Solanke gets a flick on it, but it's cleared by Wiefer. It will be picked up by Porro under pressure from Rutter. Gets it to Bergvall. He makes the run overlapping, which Bergvall finds. And now Bergvall gets it back, but Matt O'Reilly puts a foot in and it comes back off the Spurs man, and Brighton will finally get some possession.
Yeah, well, they need to get some possession because it's been probably 10 minutes, I would say, since they had any kind of real feel for the ball, and the substitutes haven't been able to make any impact. They haven't been able to sustain that pressure, or they haven't been able to build the possession like they normally do. It's all Tottenham at the moment, and in terms of intensity, Tottenham are right on the front foot, making it really difficult for Brighton.
A little stoppage because Pedro Porro's landed awkwardly on, smacked his head off the turf, so the referee just stopping play, but he's back up on his feet. The referee's now telling him he needs to go and get some treatment off the side of the pitch. He's not keen to come off, Pedro Porro, and there's been a couple of players, and I think he is one of them, that has sort of shown that leadership, that drive that perhaps Tottenham have been missing a little bit over this second half of the season in particular.
Yeah, but there was no need for him to get down there. It wasn't a challenge, and he's absolutely fine. You can see that he's absolutely fine. You need all your players on the pitch.
So another change for Brighton. as Ayari is replaced by Costellas, the 18-year-old. He's not been involved in the last 6 Premier League games after being left out. Fabian Hertzler not happy with the way that he was training, conducting himself, so he's got an opportunity in these final 8 minutes plus added time to try and get Brighton back into this game. This is a huge game as well for Brighton. They are chasing European football, and with Bournemouth winning earlier today, it means that Brighton are down to 10th as the ball in from Tell goes straight through to Verbruggen. So Brighton 2 points off Chelsea in 6th place as things stand.
They need a spark, there's no doubt about that. They've gone kind of stale in this game. And it's all Tottenham. Tottenham are winning all the duels, they're winning all the second balls, and that's given them a foothold in the game.
Well, they come forward now. Minty on the right hand side, trying to find the shooting opportunity, the crossing opportunity, which he does, and Kinski, really brave, dives out, wins the free kick as well, with the challenge coming in from Costellos. Brave goalkeeping from Kinski.
Yeah, I don't know why Costellos didn't go with his head though. He kind of tried to go with his feet, and it was never that. Go with your head and be brave to get on the end of that cross. It was a good angle on the cross, and I don't know why he's going with his foot up there.
Yeah, he goes foot first and catches Kinski right in the hip area. But this is concerning for Tottenham because Xavi Simons is down. It looks like it might just be a touch of cramp, but they're certainly asking for the change to be made. A couple of Xavi Simons himself and now Archie Gray making the symbol of substitution over towards the Tottenham bench, but he's really grasped the opportunity, getting a start today. Xavi Simons not started the last 4 league matches. He's certainly taken that opportunity.
Well, I think he has some impact, and he's got some kind of technical ability. He gets in them pockets quite nicely. But I think what you really want to see from him is outcomes, and I think that's what's been lacking recently. But today he's come up with an assist, which was a really, really good weighted cross into the box for Porro, and then that goal that he's come up with probably 7 or 8 minutes ago was of the highest order. Really good, cut inside on his right foot, gives Verbruggen no chance, and that's what these Tottenham fans want to see, outcomes from these forward players.
Well, he's been told to get on with things. He's been given some gels and some liquids, and he's back on his feet and take on some salts and fluids and try and get through these last 6 minutes of this match. He's had a huge part in what could be the turning point in Roberto De Zerbi's second match in charge, his first game here at the Tottenham Stadium. And he'll have felt the love and the support from the supporters as well, because it's easy to down tools right across the board when there is that frustration from the supporters with some of the ways that the club's been run and the performances on the pitch, but they've been behind them all afternoon today.
The supporters have been brilliant. They've been absolutely fantastic today.
Brighton coming forward, just a little dink inside Rutter, lovely touch to try and get away from Paulinia, but Spurs do well. It has fallen though to Van Hecke. Brighton still in possession. Minty, right edge of the penalty area, driving forward, gets the left-footed cross in, and there's a great header from Porro to deny the on-rushing De Kuiper what would have been a really good opportunity. Brave from Porro, but again it comes in from Brighton. This one high and long over the top of all those waiting around that 6-yard area, and it will be a Tottenham goal kick. And Pedro Porro once again putting his head in and with a brilliant clearance.
Yeah, Tottenham have defended well there. It was a dangerous situation, and probably the first dangerous situation Brighton have had for quite a while, I suppose, and they've defended really well. There's a break in play here because Simons he can't put his foot down because he's got cramp in the calf, and it stems from a couple of minutes ago. They need to get him off. They need to make that change.
It is such a painful thing, cramp. So painful, and you can see him. It's almost like his legs gone rigid.
Can they make? Have they made 5 subs? So they can't make another change, can they?
No, they can't. They've made all their changes, Tottenham. So Xavi Simons is either going to have to find a way to play on. We've got 3 minutes remaining of the 90, plus whatever added time. And De Zerbi, he spent so much of the of the afternoon, early evening, outside of his technical area, once again being told to get back in as he's trying to get instructions out to his team. And going down to 10 for these remaining few minutes would just add a little layer of nerves, but this stadium perhaps doesn't need to.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to get nervy here. That, you know, there's been plenty of stoppages in the second half, and this one's taken quite a while. We had the one a couple of minutes ago for Simmons as well. I would imagine we'd be looking at, I would say, over 7 minutes at least for injury time. So there's still quite a way to go in this game.
There is indeed. Right, let's get an update from York City against Yeovil. Ross Heaton.
4 to play here. York 2, Yeovil 0. As it stands, the Minster men staying top by 2 points, but with Rochdale also leading 1-0. The promotion champagne is staying on ice here. York 2, Yeovil 0.
Well, York and Rochdale meet in the final game of the season next weekend. As things stand, that is going to be an absolute cracker. But here for Tottenham, their focus has certainly been at the end of the table they don't want to be at, but this is a huge 3 points potentially for them. But it's also a 3 points that relegates Wolverhampton Wanderers this afternoon back down to the Championship. A heavy defeat for them away to Leeds United, coupled with a win here by Spurs, would mark the end of their Premier League status. They've had a good effort trying to get some points on the board, and they have managed it. But Minty, left-footed cross to the back post, where it's met by Kadioglu, but he's not able to really direct it anywhere. Now it's picked up on this left-hand side again. It is Minty, again with a cross. This one cleared though before it can get to Matt O'Reilly. Gross picks up the loose ball. Now it's Boscagli. Brighton beginning to put the pressure on in these closing minutes.
Yeah, you can feel the pressure building, you can feel the tension growing. Brighton are knocking the ball about now. They're sustaining the attacks, but they're dominating territory as well. So this Tottenham team are backed into their own box.
Cross comes in again headed clear by Danso. Simons picks up. He's got very little left in the legs, but he does really well to hold on to the ball and to release Tell just on the halfway line, trying to fend off Pascal Gross, which he does, and manages to get the ball inside to Palini. And now it's to Van de Ven, now Archie Gray, and there's space now for Tottenham to drive forward. Really good spell of play under real pressure from the Brighton players from Tottenham just to keep a hold of possession. And now Danso goes back to Kinski. Kinski goes long. Solanke beaten to it by Boscagli, but it'll be picked up by Tell. Takes it down on his chest. Good challenge from Minty. Gray heads it forward. Van Hecke's there to clear up. And we've got 8 added minutes. 8 minutes of nerves inside this stadium.
It's 8 minutes, but Tottenham are pretty much playing with 10 men at the moment because Simmons can't move. He's cramping up and he can't really contribute anything. So it's backs to the wall, and it's going to be a long 8 minutes for these fans and for Roberto De Zerbi.
It is indeed, but they are doing their best to try and get behind their team and drive them forward to a first 3 points of 2026, a first Premier League win since the 28th of December. Ball comes in, far post, headed back across the line, and there's bodies everywhere, and Kinski dives on the loose ball, and the roar and the relief around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So many bodies in that congested area, and Kinski has it in his hand. So let's get a full time from Iceland against England. Rob Schofield.
Yeah, England's 500th fixture ends in a 1-0 win. Alessia Russo's goal in the first half, a dominant first half performance. Different story after the break. Temperature dropped in Reykjavik and England began to freeze. Iceland grew in confidence, and there was 6 crucial Hannah Hampton saves in the latter stages. Serena Wigman's side moved back 3 points clear of Spain, who they visit in June for the penultimate crunch game in this group. Only the top team qualifies automatically for the World Cup. It's finished here. Iceland 0, England 1.
So England getting the job done out in Iceland. There's been a goal in the match between York City and Yeovil. Ross Heaton.
It's still York 2, Yeovil 0, but the York fans celebrating here with news of an equaliser against Rochdale. We're in stoppage time, but as it stands, the Minster men are going up. York 2, Yeovil 0.
Well, there had been a goal, and it was a very big goal, just not at that stadium. So York City look like they are going to be promoted back to the EFL this afternoon. Spurs had a little opportunity there, but the offside flag was raised. Really good work from Solanke though, but now the ball comes in. Van Hecke up against Kinski. Kinski grabs it at the second attempt. May well have got the free kick had he not. Van Hecke barging into him as he tried to pluck that one out of there, and he gets a huge round of applause from Vicario in amongst the players not available tonight.
Yeah, it's a bit desperate from Brighton really. There's no real control in the play. It's just a lump ball into the box, and what they need to do, there's still plenty of time in this game, they need to knock the ball about. They need to try and find them gaps between the units. They need to have that good incisive play in and around the box.
Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. We've played 2.5 minutes of the added 8 at the end of this 90 minutes as Tottenham Hotspur look to get a first win under Roberto De Zerbi against his former club. Minte, ball across, looking for Ruta. It's gone to back post and it's hit the side netting, and I think a few supporters gasped, thinking that effort from Kadioglu had found the back of the net. It was the side netting and Tottenham survived.
Yeah, everybody on this side of the stadium thought that was in. There's a hush gone around the stadium, people taking deep breaths, but it just dropped the wrong side, and Kadioglu should have done better. It was a flick on and it's come to the back post and he side-footed it. It's hit the outside netting, but he should have done better.
Huge opportunity for Brighton with still time to play of the added on 8 minutes. Kinski goes long, but it's won by Buscagli. Now Tell picks up good feet to get past the first challenge, but in came Buscagli to win it at the second attempt. So Brighton, Viefert down that right hand side, but there's a big tussle between Kadioglu and Spence comes away with it, but Verbruggen out to just clear it before Spence could do any damage with it in that final third. Now it's Gross to this left hand side. Minty lays it off to Viefert over the top, looking for the run of Minty. Cross comes in only as far as Danso, but Van Hecke's done really well, won it back. Now he drops it to far post and Jorginho Rutter, first time, left foot on the edge of the area, finds that top of the net. There are Spurs bodies on the ground, but the Brighton players run away in celebration, and that little pocket over in the corner are on their feet, and around the rest of the stadium there is silence, there is head in hand. It is Tottenham 2, Brighton 2.
Well, Danso is absolutely distraught. He took too long on the ball, he dwelled on it, and Van Hecke done excellently well. He dispossessed him, cut it back. Ridger with the finish. It's a brilliant finish on his left foot into the roof of the net. Hush around this place. Brighton fans absolutely love it. They went straight into the net to get the ball and put it back on the halfway line. They want to go and try and get a winner. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write it.
You really couldn't write it. 5 minutes of added time played, and Brighton get themselves level for the second time in this game. And we still have 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, I have to say, I didn't see it coming. I know there's a little bit of pressure, but I didn't see them creating that chance. And it comes from a mistake.
Well, Brighton coming forward again down this right-hand side. Kadioglu back to Viefert. Kadioglu gets the ball in towards that back post where Minte is lurking, but it's headed out by Tell. It will be a Brighton corner, and the only noise in this stadium is coming from that corner opposite us, that little pocket of Brighton fans.
This has been an incredible game of football. It really has. It's swung both ways. There's been chances at both ends and good tempo to the game. Goals, brilliant goals, sloppy goals. We've had a bit of everything.
We have indeed, and is there a sting in the tail to come from Tottenham? Ball comes in, Kinski punches it clear, good two hands to it. It's fallen to Simons, who's dispossessed, and now Brighton come forward, but it's going to be a free kick for Spurs. Simons lying on the turf, and a little bit of calm for a brief moment as that whistle blew.
I think Simons has got lucky there. I don't think that was a free kick. Based on what the referee and how he's let things go, I think Simons has gone down easily there, and that would have been a dangerous situation.
Well, we are approaching the final minute of the added on 8. There will surely be a little bit additional time after that Brighton equaliser, deep into injury time, but it's Tottenham coming forward. Bergvall unable to get on the end of the pass. Van Hecke sliding in to launch the ball into the Spurs fans. It will be a Tottenham throw-in level with the edge of Brighton's penalty area.
Danso, he's coming across, he's going to launch it into the box. More excitement into the last minute, and can Tottenham come up with a win? This place would go absolutely wild.
It would go absolutely insane. And down below us, there's so many Tottenham coaching staff, substitutes out in that technical area, just trying to organise this set piece because they know the time is running out, the chances are running out. But Danso drops it to Simons around 30 yards outside central. Porro now out to this right hand side where Archie Gray is. He's got a couple of Brighton players ahead of him. He's getting pushed in towards a corner, does really well though to scoop it through the legs, but Brighton able to pick up possession, and now Brighton with an opportunity to perhaps come forward. Dispossessed though, Bergvall spins away, edge of the area, Simons drops out to Gray, great effort, well saved by Verbruggen. It was a little bit hot potato, the ball there, as Tottenham tried to create the opportunity, and when it did come it was soft and Verbruggen was able to get down and stop it.
Yeah, Archie Gray couldn't get the purchase on it, really troubled Verbruggen's goal.
There it is, the final whistle. I thought we might get a little bit more added time, but 98 minutes is what we have played, and it is just the point for Tottenham. They thought that they were on their way to a first victory of 2026, but in the 95th minute, Jorginho Rutter broke Spurs' hearts, and yet that search goes on for 3 points. But Andy Reid, it was a performance that seemed different for Spurs today. Did you see signs that under De Zerbi there is a confidence, there is something that he can work with to try and get themselves out of the mess they're in?
Yeah, I think what I've seen from the performance, not necessarily in possession and how they build and how they play, which is what you associate with De Zerbi's teams. What I saw was an appetite to work hard, was an appetite to win duels, to win second balls, and that gave them a foothold in the game. Solanke was brilliant for them all evening. He got hold of that ball, let them get up the park, and so I've seen some fight in them, which is what these fans have been questioning. Does this team have it? And they showed that this evening. Couple of brilliant goals. I mean, it was a pulsating game of football. It really was. It was end to end, loads of transitions. We've seen some brilliant goals. We've seen mistakes. I had a bit of everything. The excitement. I mean, we're breathless at the end. It was a fantastic game of football. For a neutral to sit here and watch it, it was incredible.
It's finished as it finished when they met earlier this season at the Amex, 2 apiece. Pedro Porro got Spurs on their way. A lovely little ball in from Xavi Simons that he headed past Verbruggen, and then right before the break, Kaoru Mitoma with an unbelievable finish, first time from a tight angle, left-footed into the top corner. That got things level, but Spurs came out second half and they got themselves ahead. Xavi Simons, another beautiful finish with the right foot, curling it off the inside of the post and into the net. And then, just as we thought perhaps Spurs had done enough, Jorginho Rutter, first time finish from the pullback, beyond Kinski. Absolutely nothing that Kinski could do about that effort. Great finish from Rutter. And it's finished 2 apiece. And when you look at the table, Andy, Tottenham, they are still in that relegation zone in 18th place. They're a point behind West Ham and 2 points behind Nottingham Forest. Both of those teams have to play this weekend, and sometimes in these positions it can be a benefit to go first rather than to go second, but it's only a benefit if you win.
Yeah, only a benefit if you win. Look, I suppose would Tottenham have taken a point before the game? I don't know. I don't think they would have accepted that. But more disappointingly for Tottenham, the position that they got themselves into, going a goal up so late in the game, they'll be absolutely devastated. They really will. And now they have to sit nervously